Welcome, welcome. Sorry for the fake out, but I'm Preston Jacobs. People joke that I need to have something go wrong every time, so I was like, why not this time? Why not? Um, I'm Preston Jacobs, and we are talking about some Ice and Fire. And let me see about usually the I think something's clogged with the chat in a moment, but I think it'll get going in a second here. So tonight I wanted to talk about how Sansa is supposed to die. Or George originally had this plan of Sansa dying. This comes from the most recent Hollywood Reporter article about George. I'll bring it up here. And he writes in, he says, Martin's thoughts turn unprompted to the end of Ice and Fire. It becomes clear that the details of his story's conclusion, like so much of the saga, remains uncertain. I'm going to kill more people, he muses. Not the ones they killed in the show. They made it more of a happy ending. I don't see a happy ending for Tyrion. His whole arc has been tragic from the first. I was going to have Sansa die, but she's been so appealing in the show, maybe I'll let her live. His assistant's car is coming. Ask what he's doing for Christmas. And so some people got a little excited about this, or I don't know if excited is the right word, but intrigued about this because, Sansa, she seems like a good girl. She seems like a good character. Her story is kind of just getting interesting. When I say that, I mean, fans often are rather unhappy with Sansa's story in A Game of Thrones and A Clash of Kings and half of A Storm of Swords, where she spends the first book kind of just being in love with Joffrey and then being upset that Joffrey turns out to be a horrible human being and that her father dies. And then in the second book, she spends the whole thing like thinking about Dantos. And is Dantos going to come and save me? Is Dantos going to come? And then nothing happens in that whole book. And then it takes another half a book in A Storm of Swords where it's like, is Dantos coming? Is Dantos coming? Is Dantos coming? Then finally the Purple Wedding happens. And then it gets really interesting. All of a sudden we get to the Vale and Sansa's story becomes really fascinating. And there's definitely a shift where all of a sudden she's perhaps going to take control of Sweetrobin, and there's some questions on whether or not she will be controlled by Littlefinger, or if she's gonna somehow break out. And the what's funny about the show, and we use the show a lot as evidence of various plot points being spoiled. Sometimes we're told directly that they're spoiled, but there's just been a lot of stuff over the years that has appeared in outlines and such that appeared in the show. Even stuff that's been changed in the book. For instance, Asha going on a rescue mission to save Theon is in a previous blurb about the books, and then it's changed. It's clearly not happening in A Dance with Dragons. It clearly didn't happen, but the show kind of still had that plot point. And there's a few of these sorts of things where the show often is evidence of what George had at least planned at one point. I'm not saying he still has that plan, but he had planned it at some point. And so clearly in the show, Sansa didn't die. But there's a lot of strange evidence of shenanigans going on where maybe there's still some footprints of Sansa dying. By the way, the other thing that we have, the Hollywood Reporter shouldn't actually be that surprising because in George's original outline, he says 5 central characters will make it through all 3 volumes. And when he says 3 volumes, he means the whole series, because at the beginning he thought there were only 3 books. And then he later says that Sansa was going to wed Joffrey and have his child and switch sides and be a villain. Now, of course, this outline is written prior to Sansa even having a point of view chapter. Like, George hadn't even established Sansa as a point of view character when he wrote this. So when he said 5 central characters, maybe he changed his mind to 6 central characters once he invented the Sansa POV. We kind of don't know. But one could look at this and say, no, he always wanted Sansa to be a villain and he always wanted Sansa to die. So there's a few things that in the show are kind of evidence of maybe Sansa dying. And one is the fact that D&D were so quick to cut Sansa's storyline and have her be Jeyne Poole. You know, everything with regards to her being Elaine, her controlling Sweetrobin, her having this situation with Harry the Heir, having some sort of having a tourney in the Vale, having all of these connections to the Freys in the Vale, all that stuff was completely cut. And D&D were quite quick and willing to do that and just make her Jeyne Poole. And I mean, the fact that like a bit character like Jeyne Poole is that storyline has more survival than Sansa's storyline. You know, think about it like that. That the bit character of Jeyne Poole's storyline is more or less maintained, and Sansa's is cut. That's, you know, a rather odd thing, right? Everything, the abuse of Jeyne Poole jumping off the wall, her, you know, Jeyne Poole marrying Ramsay, like that, you know, Theon feeling kind of a weird sympathy for her. That's Jeyne Poole's story. You know, when does this happen? When on earth would you adapt a story where you cut a main character story and then have them take over a bit character's story? You know, it's pretty amazing. So it could be that, you know, like the story that was presented to D&D in this outline was Sansa does this and this and this and this, and then she dies. And D&D were like, okay, let's just turn her into Jeyne Poole. So the other thing that's also kind of weird about the story once they did that in the show is everyone kind of laughed when the point came where they said, okay, who's going to rule Winterfell? And everyone's like, Jon Snow. And Sansa's sitting right there. Like, oh, we need a leader. Jon Snow. Like, hi, this is my fucking birthright. This is what are you doing? And it's such an embarrassment that the show kind of throws a bone to Sansa in the end and makes her like Queen of the North, kind of illogically, because it's like, now, like, why would the North be allowed independence when the Iron Islands wouldn't be allowed independence, or Dorne wouldn't be allowed independence? Like, it's pretty outrageous. So, you know, Sansa not being there or Sansa not being alive would solve that, right? They would say, oh, who's going to rule the North? Well, there's no one else, Jon Snow, you know, because Bran's not back yet. And plus, you know, Bran's Bran, but Bran's not back yet. Rickon is dead. Arya's missing. Robb's dead. You know, it would make more sense than Sansa being right fucking there and everybody being like, Jon Snow, you know, without even a discussion. So there is some that evidence. And then I have one other thing that I think is relevant. And that is, and this has more to do with the book. Because right now in the book, Sansa Stark is posing as Elaine Stone, and she has a control over Sweetrobin. Now, this is parallel structure and such. So you're talking like, will everything in Fire and Blood like rhyme with what's going to happen in the show? But during Aegon's invasion, Visenya comes to the Vale and meets Ronald Arryn. And Ronald is a clear, utter stand-in for Sweetrobin. He's a little boy who likes to fly, and she comes in and we have the Regent of the Vale rushed out to confront her with a dozen guards at her back. She found Visenya with Ronald Arryn seated at her knee, staring at the dragon, wonderstruck. "Mother, can I go flying with the lady?" the boy asked. No threats were spoken, no angry words exchanged. The two queens smiled at one another and exchanged courtesies instead. So, it's like, it seems like if you're talking about this plot point, that Dany, in place of Visenya, would arrive and win over Sweetrobin with her dragon and her ability to fly him around. If we accept that a lot of these things in Fire and Blood are echoes of what's gonna come, and we kind of accept that with Rhaenyra going to Dragonstone and fighting Aegon and having a second chance of the dragon. So, but this clear stand-in for Sweetrobin with Ronald mean that another female dragon flying individual is going to come over and win him over. That doesn't really work if Sansa's in the picture, does it? So at some point she would have to die for Dany to come in and win over Sweetrobin. Now, of course, there's some things wrong here. I mean, in the book, they've already left the Eyrie, so her flying to the Eyrie and winning him over, like, that's just not going to happen. All right, no one's going back to the Eyrie. It's never coming back again. They're down the mountain. Okay, so that's that. So the question is I'm not saying George, because George literally said that he's on the fence about it, but how would he kill Sansa? And so, you kind of say, okay, well, the obvious one is, well, Harry the Heir seems like a cruel motherfucker. He seems like a bastard. She tries to get close to him, and he's a sick motherfucker, and he like kills her, and now, of course, completely possible, but at the same time, it's almost like, oh God, like another horrible human being doing this. Now, that also, strangely enough, that might also be why D&D were so ready to shove Sansa into the Jeyne Poole plot. They're like, well, Sansa being abused by some dude is very similar to Jeyne Poole being abused by some dude, so let's have that go. Could very well be it. And then she, at just some point, she tries to get revenge on him or something. And then she's just killed. And that's the story. And that's the ending of Sansa. Certainly possible, but also it doesn't seem very, very satisfying. It would be heart wrenching. I don't know. The other idea is in the books, and if you've been watching my going over, you know that I think that one of the biggest mistakes and one of the worst chapters of a Game of Thrones is Sansa being forced to write a letter to her family, and everyone thinking this is some significant event. Some letter that Catelyn immediately is like, "What a piece of trash," and they never think about it again. And it's we wasted a chapter of Varys, Pycelle, Littlefinger, and Cersei all getting their heads together, being like, we need this little girl to write a letter to Robb for some Hail Mary idea that they would believe it, which of course, and Robb and Cat don't. And then, it goes nowhere. It's a useless plot. And then for some reason in Clash of Kings, Cersei somehow thinks that like Sansa is relevant to the coup and all these things. It's kind of a big goof. But weirdly enough, that plot line comes back in the show. Weirdly enough, this letter that Robb brought with him to Moat Cailin to show Cat suddenly multiplies and is in Winterfell, and Arya reads it and feels like Sansa had betrayed the family, and there's this tension between them, and that maybe Arya would be the one to kill Sansa based on this misunderstanding of this letter. That would be pretty heart-wrenching, like Arya killing Sansa. That would be pretty nuts. But again, like, how is Arya getting that letter? Why? Like where is that letter? Is that letter at Moat Cailin? Like, would they have saved it? Like, what? How would Arya get this letter? Like, it was stupid when the letter showed up in the show. How would Arya be getting the letter in the books? Or would it just be like through conversation? Like, Arya sees Sansa freak out and is distraught at Ned's death. Like, Arya sees that firsthand. So she knows that, like, at least Sansa didn't want that to happen. But how else is she hearing about the event? Because you literally have to go through all of them, like all the people. Like, I guess Cersei's still alive. Varys is alive. Would he be believed? Would he be talking to Arya? Pycelle is dead. Robb is dead. Cat is dead. So, I mean, I guess Cat's undead. Undead Cat could tell her. Undead Cat could tell her. Cersei could tell her. Or Littlefinger could tell her about this letter that she wrote. But would Arya be dumb enough to... I mean, Robb was dumb enough to sort of believe it until Cat's like, dude, what are you talking about? So, could that be the situation? Could it be the show idea of Arya getting that Game of Thrones chapter that is completely irrelevant to make it relevant? So I don't know. Or something else. Sansa or George didn't decide. He's just like, well, at some point Sansa's going to die. Is she going to die just in battle, at Harrenhal somewhere? But it's got to be something where they find out in the North, and it's if we're going with the plot of Jon being king of the North, right? That she would not be the queen. Or you could say, okay, it's a metaphorical death, because Sansa, lady died. She was metaphorically, you could say her Starkness was killed. She then dyes her hair and she becomes Elaine. There's this idea that she's just never going to return as Sansa. And that would explain why there's no one around in the North for Jon to come in and become king because they just don't even have to deal with it. Sansa's gone. But that's not really how George phrased it. He phrased it like he was perhaps going to kill her, but was not upset. But didn't Kat's letter get sent to Winterfell? Yeah, Robb picked it up in Winterfell, and then he brought it to Moat Cailin and showed it to Kat. That's in both book and show. Both book and show, the letter physically travels from Winterfell to Moat Cailin, and then it's read, and Kat's immediately like, that's stupid. Why are we wasting our time on this? Just like the reader. Because Kat after it, like I said, after the at the crossroads, Kat becomes the smartest person in the world. So even Kat at that point is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I mean, I think apologists for the show would say that every letter that's sent, more than one raven are often sent in case one is shot down. So maybe actually 2 ravens with duplicate messages arrived, and Robb took one of the duplicates and the other duplicate was left. Like that's like the apology explanation. Or the apology explanation is like for records, Lewin writes letters over again or something to create a duplicate. That's the apology explanation. But it's a load of shit to me. It's a dumb plot point. It's a dumb plot point where no one under someone that's captured and under duress, no one's gonna believe your writing. And they don't. Why the dream team is sitting there wasting their time trying to get Sansa to write this letter. Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Anyway. Let's of course George R. R. Martin planned to kill Sansa. Lady was sacrificed in the 16th chapter. That's the question. But what is the metaphorical thematic reason for Lady dying? And I think when he originally did it, it sounds like that the metaphorical reason for Lady dying was the fact that Sansa was not going to be a Stark anymore, but of course there's plot reasons too. Hello.
Hi.
Let me get you a appropriate window.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, how goes it?
Okay. I'm good. I'm back at my apartment. Hey. I was gonna call in asking, I was listening to your discussion. Do we know when George abandoned the dead Sansa, killing Sansa plot line?
I don't know if he did. That's the thing, is he kind of his Hollywood Reporter article, which was earlier this year, said, in the show they let Sansa, he's talking about characters that are going to live, and he's like, in the show Tyrion has a happy ending. I don't think Tyrion's going to get a happy ending. And that's completely true. I mean, it'd be Tyrion's already fucked. He's damaged goods. But then he mentions Sansa too, and he's like, I was gonna kill Sansa, but now I don't know, and he said based on the fact that show Sansa was delightful.
Did Trey and I call at the same time? What the fuck?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
The only reason I called was to throw in one little thing here in regards to Elio. When I spoke to him and I mentioned this, Elio said, "Yeah, that makes total sense. All the Stark kids are, connected to their wolf. So with Lady dying, he wasn't surprised by it. Talking to him, even off microphone, I need to be very careful with what I say.
Yeah.
He didn't sound shocked. He sounded it sounded like he was in support of it, and he knew it was coming. So I feel as though George probably told him ahead of time ages ago, And if anything, he sounded
Yeah.
surprised that George changed his mind.
Right. I mean, like I say, the original outline says that there are 5 Starks that make it to the end, or the 5 characters that make it to the end. I shouldn't say Starks because obviously Dany and Tyrion are not Starks. 5 principal characters that make it to the end. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of evidence. Like I say, with how D&D did the show, the fact that like Sansa is given Jeyne Poole's story, right? Like this throwaway, and the fact, like I say, in Fire and Blood, it does seem that like Ronald Arryn teams up with Visenya, so wouldn't Sweetrobin team up with Daenerys? Is that possible with Sansa around? And can Jon realistically be king in the North with Sansa sitting right fucking there and all sorts of things? There's a lot of evidence that
you can also argue that.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, Trey. I'm sorry, Trey. Go ahead. I was gonna say
no. I'll probably sidetrack the conversation because didn't George talk about like the unkiss or whatever, like the kiss with the hound was going to be a thing, like, right? Like,
yeah, somebody, because they brought it up and he's like, oh yeah, no, that's going to be something. Oh, yeah, but he does say that with everything. Something. Somebody brings up a random loose plot thread and he's like, yeah, I'm going to bring that back. Because what are you going to say? Like, I'm planning on letting that hang forever. Like he always says, I'm bringing that back. Oh yeah, I'm going to deal with that.
Because, like, yeah, there were, like, fans that were like, she's going to use her telepathy, like, her warging abilities to control men or something like that. Isn't that, like, what the fan theory is?
Yeah.
That's actually, Preston brought that theory up to me, like, ages ago, that, like, Sansa is unusually beautiful, that it may or may not be, like, magic she's putting people under. You know what I'm talking about, Preston?
Charismatic rather than beautiful, I would say. That her charisma is telepathic. Like the reason that so many dudes are like fucking Sansa is because she has supernatural charisma from her special Stark genes. In the same sense that like Arya is using her special Stark genes to face change, right? And people think that Jon will use a special. Well, I mean, people believe he has Targaryen genes too, but I suppose like the idea is, Bran's special genes allow him to green sea and fuse with werewoods. Jon's allow him to go into a direwolf. Arya's allow her to face change. The idea is that like if you're telepathically talented in some way, that it can be crafted in a different way. And so Sansa's is being crafted in charisma, like connection in that sense. Rather than like, because somebody might be like, that's a completely different ability. It's like, well, no, it's all telepathy,
The show did, by the way, keep in line with the whole direwolf connected to the Starks thing. At the very end, Nymeria is still alive, Arya's still alive. People are saying, well, what about Bran? He's still alive. Bran isn't really Bran anymore. So when Summer dies, you could say,
yeah, but that's just cope. That's cope to be like, oh, yeah, Summer's dead unceremoniously, and no one cares.
Summer is dead. What I'm saying is, in a sense, Bran is also not really there either. That's pretty much a different person. That's not really the Bran we know.
Isn't everyone a different person? Isn't every person? We got to talk about Mando and Grogu later, because on this issue, we
Jesus. Can. Yeah. Oh my god! I just clicked on. I was on. This is somewhat related to the Sansa unkiss thing. I found the quote. Like the "So Spake Martin."
Yeah.
Where he talks about it, and he actually goes really in depth. It's more than like an offhand comment. But also, I clicked on the link of other stuff that was mentioned in it, and the fucking top thing. This is June 26, 2001. To tell you the truth, I don't recall what Damoosh looked like. A Harangan mind, on the other hand, I remember very well. But whether I will ever bring one on the stage, I don't know. Fuck you, George. It's the same conversation as that fucking conversation.
Yeah, good times. Harangan minds. Just tell us what they look like.
Just tell us. He baited us for, that's like 2001. That's 25 years ago. He baited us. He's holding
Yeah,
on
but
to it.
you
Okay.
can look at it this way. He stopped writing Avalon in 91. So you could say that like that was only 10 years since he abandoned Thousand Worlds. And so it has now been 25 years. Like that quote's distance to Thousand Worlds is so much closer than like to now, or even like last book to now, right? Like,
Oh my god.
when you start thinking about
He
it
goes
like
on as to whether I'll ever finish Avalon. Well, perhaps hard to say. Just know I'm not looking past the Song of Ice and Fire, which is likely to occupy me for 5 more years at least. Oh, George,
five more years.
5 more
And then in
years.
2006, he finished the series.
2001, Carmine. This is 2001.
Oh
He thought he was only going to be dealing with this. By the way, I was 1 year old when he was giving this. Like my whole entire fucking life has gone by in George's. It's the conversation.
Good.
That is crazy.
Good times. You're
my God.
Rhaenyra, and you just took King's Landing. How do you stay in power? So, I mean, the big problem here is that Vhagar exists. Okay, like you got to do whatever you can to fucking kill Aemond and Vhagar. Like that should be number one priority. All these other minor battles and stuff, like they need to just like why even bother? Like, why even bother with all the stuff, right? What really needs to happen is you need to focus on Vhagar. That's it. So I think you send in, wait, in the show, were they going after? Oh, no, they weren't. It was son for a son. Like, they weren't even. Like, they should have sent assassins in to take out Aemond. And that should be the only focus on anything. Aemond, that's it. And if you're not gonna poison Aemond or send everything at Aemond, like then just like an onslaught strike on the Dragon Pit where Vhagar exists. Like you want to Pearl Harbor that shit. Like because that's all that matters. All these other tiny little dragons, no one cares. Okay, all these armies marching. Oh my God, Butcher's Ball and Tumbleton. No, it matters about Vhagar. Vhagar's the only fucking thing that matters. Just fucking kill Vhagar. Like, let's waste some time with Rick's Rest. And no, like the thing is, the battle of the God's Eye. The fact that Daemon is able to take out Vhagar. Even though it was like he dies or pretends to die or whatever, and Caraxes definitely dies, is like such a massive like benefit for Rhaenyra, and essentially it takes all of the sneaky stuff at Tumbleton and all this other shit to like take him out, because at this point, like and the Dragon Pit, you need all of these other situations to kill the dragons. But man, oh man, you spend your time trying to kill Aemond, poison Aemond, do anything against Aemond, and you focus on killing Vhagar, and you win the war. That's all that matters. That's my advice. And the fact that they, Rhaenyra, I mean, Rhaenyra doesn't do anything in the books. Like she doesn't do anything. It's amazing, this war that she plays such a small role in her own story is amazing. But man, I guess just yeah.
Like, how does she deal with the faith? Like okay, like you're Rhaenyra and you're like having to deal with the guy, right? The shepherd. Like, how do you do? You just kill him? Just fucking get in your dragon and hover above him and just kill him?
There's no reason to even be. I mean, I understand that maybe she feels like she needs to be in the city for symbolic reasons or something, but there's no reason she should be in the fucking city. There's no reason that she should have her dragons in the dragon pit, like invulnerable in a city that's not necessarily completely for her.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have created. I would just. I mean, it's so much safer on Dragonstone. Just keep everybody on Dragonstone. It's just so much safer. I mean, it's the equivalent of like, say you have an aircraft carrier. Do you load everybody off the aircraft carrier and hold up in the city, or do you keep your forces on the aircraft carrier?
And you move the planes into like a little stadium inside the city that you're occupying for the helicopter.
It's just a bad move. Yeah. It's just a really bad move when they were so safe and so. Yeah, and I mean, I think all of the ridiculousness of the Dance of the Dragons is that all of these armies of tens of thousands of people are getting moving around and fighting each other for no fucking reason. Because it's just at no point. I'm trying to think of any battle. At any point, do people on the ground, in a military sense, take care of any dragons? They're all like the dragons are only killed through deceptive means of like getting the riders drunk or getting them to switch sides or sneaking into to where the dragons are on the ground. I'm trying to think of is a single dragon hit with a scorpion or a catapult or somebody
question.
throwing
if any dragon is killed in combat, like
properly. I mean, against another dragon, obviously, but like,
I don't think there is a single instance of it. Like only Dorne knew that information, like,
yeah. So, I mean, bravo to Euron in the show for actually like killing a dragon in a actual like militaristic way. I mean, I guess the Night King threw that javelin,
Because like Tyrion in the book is like that too, where like he's at the Siege of Marine and he's like he sees all the scorpions and catapults and crossbows and stuff. He's like he would have told them to he's like George treats him like he's like a genius. He's like he would have told them to save it. It wouldn't help at all. Like none of that stuff would help. It's like really like a lucky shot, like maybe.
Yeah. What else you got? You got to do something. So he's thinking that the Sansa story ends with a Sansa Joffrey murder-suicide foreshadowed in a Game of Thrones. So in the original outline, it says that Jaime kills his own son to become king.
Yeah. Yeah, the implication is that Jaime kills all of them. Like Jaime kills Sansa even, I think is the idea.
Yeah, so Jaime would just poison them both and they just both die. Which would have been a crazy scene, right? Because
would Jaime poison them, or would Jaime kill them? Like,
you're right?
Isn't it a big deal that Jaime's not a poisoner?
Jaime's not a poisoner, right? We established that he's that he does his killing himself.
He does his killing himself.
So I guess that's how you do it. He just comes in there and just starts slaughtering them, and then Sansa would be it would be crazy because Sansa would be the point of view, right? And then she just gets killed. Like that's she gets crazy. Stabbed by Jaime. But of course, like by the end of Game of Thrones, that's not really.
They're like George, when you were reading the Tyrion stuff, like it definitely seems that George knew that he was going to poison Joffrey at this point. Mm-hmm. Like I think it's entirely like that like little thing about Tywin. He's like for now or something.
For now, yeah.
Yeah, like he's like
he's already come up with the Red Wedding and the Purple Wedding by the end of Game of Thrones. Yeah, I think so.
But like he hasn't figured out who's going to be the poisoner. Like that kind of implies that Tywin might be the poisoner. That Tywin kills Joffrey to get him out of the way.
Yes, I agree with you. That it seems like at the end of a Game of Thrones, he's toying with the idea that Tywin is going to poison his own grandson. And there's a lot of talk in Clash of Kings about Tywin wanting to there's some weird talk about Tywin and Harrenhal that everyone's like, Tywin's gonna reestablish Harrenhal and rebuild it and all this. And so that, you know, maybe George was playing with the idea of Tywin like becoming king instead of Jaime. At least for a second at the beginning of A Clash of Kings, because he does. There's some weird Harrenhal talk about, Tywin wants to restore Harrenhal, and you're like, where is that coming from? Like, he is in the middle of a very, like, at that point in A Clash of Kings, Tywin is just so obviously going to lose. Like, you know, like he is surrounded by Stannis. I mean, Renly should just fucking win. Like. George makes the plot make Renly not win, but like
he got lucky. He got lucky that they didn't.
But it's just like
siege storm.
Rather than just storming King's Landing and winning, Renly like goes to treat with his brother at Storm's End for no reason. Like, just fucking march into King's Landing and win. You're done. Like, you're king.
Okay, when does the Tywin Lannister shit gold come from? Like, does that originate in Game of Thrones? Are people saying that?
They say something similar in a Game of Thrones that's not shit gold, but it's something about that he was made of gold, as the small folk believed.
Because as soon as George figures out the shit gold, he knows how Tywin's going to die. Like, that's in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as that first instance of that, like, it's like, okay, Tywin's dying by Tyrion.
So I don't think he's come up with the shit gold until later, but because he says that he actually says something similar, but not the same. It was in A Clash of Kings is the first time shit gold comes. They said Tywin loved gold so much he even shit gold. She heard one squire jest, and then he's like, "Oh, that's a good joke." You know,
and he has and then he has. I'm looking at it right now. He has Dany bring it up.
Right. In a Game of Thrones, like I say, he has a proto version of it that's not quite the thing. He says it's so hard because there's like so many golds.
Yeah, he loved that line. I'm looking at the search of Fire. He loved that line.
So he's got a proto version line first, where he says in A Game of Thrones, Tyrion wanted to slap him in the face, to spit in his face, to draw his dagger and cut the heart out of him, and see if he was made of old hard gold, the way the small folk said. Now, had he knew about the shit gold part, he would have made it. He wanted to cut his bowels out or something. His bowels open to see if there was gold inside them. Like, had he known, right? So he clearly has this like idea of like him being made of gold and that being a thing, but it's not the shit gold line yet, right? He hasn't come up with the shit gold, which
even that line seems to imply that he like has like Tyrion killing Tywin set up already, maybe.
Yeah, you're kind of right. Yeah.
This is fun to figure out, like, in the mind of George, like, when does he have this stuff figured out versus when not? Because every like other fans are like, he's a genius. He had it from the beginning. For us, we're like, when did he figure it out? Like, when did he know?
Yeah, it's funny. Like, he definitely did not. Yeah, he definitely did not know about shit gold at that point, because he would have been like, First of all, if he knew about shit gold at that point, he would have used the joke 3 times in a Game of Thrones, like he does in every other fucking book.
Well, I love listening to your Tyrion chapter, like Lord Lefford. Like, what happened to this guy, Lefford?
It's like too bad now he dies, unfortunately. Like in a later battle. Yeah. It's too smart. I mean, the story is very much about like all of the smart people die, leaving the idiots, and then the idiots just get in more and more trouble, which is, it's kind of, like the story of the administration, like, like there's only idiots left. The only idiots are willing to be part of it. All the all the talented people get killed off. Like Steveron Frey. You're like, oh God, Steveron Frey is dead. And so everything just falls apart as you go down the line where, you know, Tywin dies and Cersei takes over and you're like, oh, fuck, you know.
Like Kevin dies.
Yeah.
Lord Lefford.
It's funny the retcon on Kevin, because Kevin is actually kind of like he's this suck-up dickhead in a Game of Thrones, and then you get in his head and he's actually like really fucking reasonable, smart guy. You know?
Even in Feast, he's pretty confident. He's
is.
pretty confident in Feast, yeah.
Thoughts on The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Beautiful, beautiful movie, beautifully filmed. I think it's a great movie. I love it.
Yeah.
Would you say it's a fun film?
I would say it's fun. I would say it's
really.
fun.
Is it the Mandalorian shit? Is it the Grogu?
Trey does.
So I watched. I took my boy to see Mandalorian and Grogu today. And then
Trey, I got something to tell you about this. Look on Discord. Sorry, President.
Yeah. Okay.
But then I came home and I watched the
Red Letter Media.
Red Letter Media thing. And there's a little second in there, a couple seconds in there where they trash Star Wars Explained. And it's really unfair to Star Wars Explained. Because Star Wars Explained is actually in the sentence criticizing the movie. And they put him in with this montage of other like suck ups. Where he's just like, oh God. So I think he's like, it's a safe but fun movie, which is completely, utterly accurate. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's criticizing it by saying it's safe, you know, but they still throw him in with this montage of people that are like, oh, it's a fun movie. I mean, it is a fun movie. Like, it's no doubt that it's a fun movie, and there's nothing wrong with calling a movie fun. So it's a little like it's one of the common things, like, you know, Mandalorian and Grogu. I mean, it's not that I disagree with any of the criticisms that they make of the movie, but it's like the severity of their criticism. I don't recommend, if you're going to see it, watching they spoil the whole movie. So I would say, like, watch the movie.
What's
first.
there to spoil? What's there to spoil?
There's some. I'm saying there's a few really fun, clever scenes in the movie that I was really happy that were not spoiled, because I was watching and then I was like, oh, that's really fun. You know, that's really cool.
What I find is funny here is that everybody loves throwing this label at you that you're a very grumpy old guy now. But you're telling me that Red Letter Media, they're the grumps.
Dude,
this is a movie for children.
For babies?
For babies.
I mean,
they do criticize correctly that they're like, isn't this a little violent for a kids movie? Yes. But Star Wars has always been too violent for a kids movie. But like, yes. Yeah. It starts off really
Did your
violent.
son like it? Did your son like it?
He liked it fine, but without any spoilers, I will say that there's two major flaws to the movie. Okay. It's a fine movie. It's fine. It's fun. It's fun. But I would say there's two major flaws if I'm going to criticize this movie. I would say the first half, it's got a pacing problem where the first half is really exciting and fun, and then it slows the fuck down for the second half. And so I was like yawning near the end, and my son was like, Daddy, is this movie almost over yet? And I'm like, I think 10 more minutes. And it's like, no, it keeps going. And I'm like, how long is this fucking movie? Like, it should have been an hour and a half and it's 2 hours, right? And you're just like, and you know, he's like, is this movie going to be over yet? I think only 5 more minutes. Nope. Like, it just keeps going, right? So that's I would say that sign. Like, it's got a bad sign
if the little kid is like, I'm bored.
Yeah. And I couldn't blame him because I was yawning. So I will say pacing problems, because and I will say that the first half, like, if the first half is boring and the second half is strong, you remember the second half being strong, but the first half is strong and the second half is boring, and that's a problem.
That's the taste that you leave on.
Yeah. The other criticism I would have is Not a single character goes through an emotional arc.
That's what I heard. That there's no arc for anybody in the entire. The closest is one character, right? And it's like barely anything.
No, I would not be that charitable. I would not be charitable to any.
What I find funny about what you're telling me is that the movie doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
No,
at least you got something from
all.
Solo. At least you got something from Solo or Rogue One. This is what I'm kind of afraid of in the Dave Filoni era of Star Wars, because people love to bitch about Kathleen Kennedy, and a lot of the grifters, they made their money. Some guys bought houses bitching about this woman for 10 years. But now I think this is the era we're going to enter, the safe era, where Kathleen Kennedy would just like green light like random shit, boom, boom, boom. Somebody would suck, somebody would be amazing. This motherfucker, I don't think we're gonna go.
He's not even. There's characters that I assumed would die and they didn't. Like, it's that safe that like you're like, oh, you didn't even kill. Oh my god! Like you'd think.
How I feel about like Darth
you'd
Maul.
think after a boss battle that nope, I want to use that character later.
You watched Maul, Trey?
No, but I've heard you guys talk about it. I don't know. I saw the clip of the fight and stuff. Like I'm just like, we're still doing with this guy. Like we're still like, because Carmine, I'm the kid that grew up with Clone Wars, and then I knew about Rebels and stuff, and then like I heard about this, and then I saw Solo. Like, let this character just die. I don't do anything else with him.
Nah, we're never gonna die. Never gonna die.
Like,
when you start thinking about it, like the amount of time that the Star Wars universe has given to Darth Maul is 20 times the time given to Lando Calrissian.
Yes. It's more time given to Luke Skywalker. It's like,
it's like, true. You're right.
Who the fuck is this character that like had no lines in the movie that he was introduced in?
So in Filoni's defense, he is a huge George Lucas fanboy, and had George Lucas not sold to Disney, episodes 7, 8, and 9 would have been Darth Maul as the main villain with his Twi'lek Darth Side apprentice.
Talon.
Yeah, Darth.
Carmine, do you know the story behind that? You know
he was going to go microscopic with like midichlorians, and Leia was going to be revealed to be the real chosen one or something.
The wills and all that.
I was talking about something else. Carmine, where the impetus for like the Darth Talon Maul connection thing. He apparently, this might be an apocryphal story, but he apparently walked into a room and saw 2 action figures of Darth Talon, like the Twi'lek dancing. What person called the dancing girl?
The dancing girls, the dancing girl species.
The dancing girl, like
just, that's all they are. They're just dancing girls.
And he saw her, and he saw Darth Maul. He's like, they should be friends. And like the guys in the room were like, George, like they exist in completely different timelines. Like this is one is like post Return of the Jedi, then like you killed Darth Maul off. Darth Maul's dead, and he's like, just make it work. Just make it work.
So I know what he's talking about.
Like, yeah, am I warping the story? It was like for a
no. You're right. You're right. 135 years after Episode 4, the Sith come back strong as fuck, and there's this woman, sexy Twi'lek, Darth Talon, and she fucks around and has sex with Luke Skywalker's descendant. That's it. And George saw. I guess that's what George Lucas saw. He saw Darth Talon, and
he said they should be friends.
They should be friends. Oh god.
See, at least with Maul, you can, Dancing Girl has an arc. Like I can at least say, like, look, the Darth Maul animated series or animated, it's whatever, but at least there is an arc. So I will say the big criticism of the movie, like, there is nothing, like there are moments where I was like, oh, this is where they're gonna go with this character, and no, they don't. Like, they don't. There's no change for Mando, no change for Grogu, 0. It's them having a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, they're having a lot of adventures. There's a lot of really creative monsters in the movie.
They bring back a Man, right? They bring back the little salamander guy from
Jabba's Palace. Yeah. They do.
I like that stuff. That's kind of fun.
No, there's a lot of great, and I will say one of the things that's pleasantly surprised is there is a lot of practical effects and a lot of stop motion.
I heard about the stop motion. That's amazing.
Yeah, so and look, and there's a lot of laughs. I mean, little puppets going like all over. Like there's a lot of puppets going, and I love it. I love puppets. Like that's great. Okay, I laughed out loud at least 5 times in the movie. But like I say, the 2 major criticisms: pacing. Second part is not as good as the first, and there is not a single fucking. There's not an arc. Like the basic storytelling premise of the movie begins, and by the end, something has changed. The protagonist has changed. Nope. Like exactly fucking the same.
So what you're telling me is this entire movie could have been an email. Got it. Could have been an email.
No, I mean,
come on.
Even like the Epic of Gilgamesh has a character arc. Like think about that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
By the way, before you move on, I gotta say, man, you as a dad,
I forgot. By the way, before I forget on Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the only flaw to the movie, they never explain why. What's his name? Sparkle Eyes. What's his eyes? The sweet
Angel
eyes. What's that? Angel Eyes. They never explain how Angel Eyes became embedded in the Confederate Army. Like
he's just
out of fucking nowhere. He's embedded in the and you're just like, did I miss something? Like I watched the movie and I was just like, did I fucking miss something? Why is Angel Eyes in the Confederate Army? Never fucking explained. Never. Like it's just like it's this funny goof that he's like, oh, it's they're with us, and then they're like, hello, and then it turns. Oh, I'm sorry, he's with the Union. They're like, we're Confederates, and then it turns out they have dust on them. It's never explained why Angel Eyes is in that army. Never.
Yeah.
One big flaw in the movie, but it's a brilliant movie. Anyway, Carmine. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, I called press and I'm like, hey, we got a topic for the stream and blah, blah, blah. And the entire time, Preston's like, he just came out of the movie with his kid. I gotta say, man, no offense, but Caucasian American parents are fucking awesome compared to like Latin parents, because the entire time, like, Preston's kid wants something to drink, so Preston's like, okay, Sky, what do you want? They have Coca-Cola, Sprite. They don't have the Grogu Mando Sugar Blast, but we can walk around and find something for you, buddy. He's so nice and shit. My mom would be like, yeah, there's Coke and Sprite, and that's all they got. If you want to walk around and find something, dude, look, just don't bother me. Do me a favor. Go outside and open your mouth and let the rain, quench your thirst. It'll save me a lot of money.
You're reading it the wrong way, man. You're reading it as like me.
I'm complimenting you, but go ahead.
No, but you're reading it the wrong way. It's more that I went and was like, I want to have this special moment with my son where I take him to his first movie. And it's going to be this Star Wars movie, and he's going to have a fucking great time. And like, I want him to be really happy for this really special moment between us, like that's what was on my mind.
There's something special. There's something special about taking your son to a Star Wars movie. Like my dad, me and him went to Farce Awakens, and it was this really special moment I treasure to this day, where there was a guy dressed up like a stormtrooper and stuff. We took a picture with him. He let me sleep in from school because it was on a school night. Like, it's these great, beautiful little moments with your father and son right there.
Yeah, it's like,
oh, look at that! Look how happy you are. That's awesome.
Wait, you're telling me that the first time you'll get him any drink, but the next time, fuck that, he's getting either Coke or Sprite, and that's it.
Look how happy.
Does it?
All right, Preston, that's awesome. He's so happy. He's got a little Grogu shirt on. That's awesome.
No, it's a Pokemon shirt.
Oh, okay.
But he got out, right? And he got out, and they out of the Caribbean cinema, and across the food court is Burger King, and Burger King has this promotional tie-in, right? And it's like, let me see if I can fucking bring it up. Not that this is like Burger King should be paying me for the tie-in. Oh God,
Grogu is basically a Pokemon. You're right, Max. He is a Pokemon.
they have this special drink. Is it everywhere? Maybe it's by country or something. Because it was called like
The Grogu Blast.
yeah, like the drink.
Grogu
The drink is definitely different by country. Holy shit! But you go over, he sees this drink, and like so in Taiwan, my son became really addicted to Taiwanese like fruity drinks with like gelatinous bubbles in them and stuff, which is,
uniquely
it's
East Asian thing.
500% Taiwanese, and so anytime he sees like he calls it bubble tea, even though it's not necessarily, we wouldn't give him tea because tea has caffeine in it, but like it, he's in for these fruity drinks with gelatinous stuff in it, and so it literally like it was called like a Grogu blast or something, and he wanted to go to Burger King just so he could get the Grogu blast drink, which was this like green thing with like bubbles in it, like little gelatinous bubbles in it. Of course, I go over there and I'm like, I'd like your cheeseburger meal and the Grogu drink, and she's just like, yeah, no tenemos, no, like sorry.
I think I just found it. It's the Grogu juice from the St. Michael Cinema.
I like how I'm like, Press, I'm trying to give you a compliment. You're like, hey, this one time I'm going out of my way. Next time, though, no. By the way, you did miss a super chat from Mr. Bahia. Something about House Karstark being a cadet branch. This was, if I look on your end here, this is literally the most second super chat you got today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's showing up for you. After this guy.
Oh, that one?
That one right there.
Oh, yeah. I see how I missed it. So it's unrealistic for great houses to survive the generations, but we have the Windsors in real life England descended directly from Alfred the Great.
That's some bullshit. Yeah. They're descended from Alfred the Great, like Alexander the Great was descended from Achilles. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
These things is like people when there's not a when things get broken, people make shit up, right? And just like make these connections. And
well, like you have Count Dooku. What's his name? Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee claimed that he was a descendant of like Charlemagne, and you're just like, okay, sure.
Yeah. Show me the records on that. Like.
Because people made this claim about like the Windsors, like that Queen Elizabeth is descended from Muhammad, like, and like they'll like pull out the little lists and that like, well, they married into this princess from this, and it's hazy. It's like, what are you talking about?
Here's also a big thing, and this is so. Guys, look forward to this week. I'm going to be posting. Trey and I have a special discussion this week, but
oh my god,
we one of the things we talked about in our discussion really briefly was the fact that like Mark is a bit player in the Bible. And some people think that the 3 fucking random mentions of Mark are the same Mark. And some people think that the 3 random mentions of Mark are different Marks. And like, the thing is like, in order to make Mark less of a fucking bit player, some people want them all to be the same Mark. And so you can fall into this bias of assuming that that person in your, is the person you think it is. Now imagine this with your fucking family tree. Okay. You're going back in time on your family tree. And you find these now back in the day when everybody had the same goddamn name. And you see, oh, I'm descended from whatever, John Smith. And there's a bunch of them, but you're like, no, it must be that really important one. And so you're going to like fall into thinking that because your ancestor had the same name as this important person with the same name, that you're actually descended from that important person. when that's not necessarily the case, you know?
Right.
And that's the thing is when you look at these when you look at, you know, anybody that's looked at their family tree knows like that situation happens. Like you're like, oh, and then I ran into, and let's see if I can find this guy. And you search for that guy, and there's 7 of them, and you're like, well, which one is him? But he was in the same place, but there's like 4 people in the same place, and you just can't even figure out which of the ancestors you're talking about. So, I mean, you know,
it also becomes to like a point, like I know, yeah, because Alfred the Great is like the late 800s, so the 9th century AD, and you're like to now, like okay, like it's so watered down, you know, and like they're called like the Dark Ages for a reason. It's because like this bad sourcing, so like those like family trees, those genealogies are just so hazy at a certain point.
Right. It's also like it's one like doubtful that the line that they've tracked is accurate, but it's also to the point where everybody's a fucking descendant at that point. Like everybody
you just have the exponential growth of descendants. People talk about it with Charlemagne, where Charlemagne, like basically everybody is like probably has
right.
A
so like why is
Charlemagne
Christopher Lee sitting there bragging about something like everybody has, you know? Hey guys, you know, I've eaten a bowl of Cheerios once. Oh my God, you ate a bowl of fucking Cheerios once? Oh my God. How fucking impressive, Christopher Lee. Like, we've all fucking eaten a bowl of Cheerios once.
Hey, real quick, someone is asking what's the ET on the next fanfic chapter?
We got I think we said to the editors that we'd be. I have a deadline for that I gave to the editors for Daenerys, and then I have to like record it and things like that. So I think it's.
Oh, I can't wait till you record this shit. I can't wait. I can't wait. I might hit my guy up. To do
okay. So the editors are gonna have until June 3rd. And then I need some time with it, and then I need to record it and things like that. So, you know, look forward early to mid-June.
Look forward to that shit. Did you give it to Trey yet?
Yeah, he did. He did. I haven't read it yet. Yeah, I haven't read it yet.
Did you tell Trey what I told you to add?
Carmine told me to add more sex. He's like realistically, George would not like only have this much sex in it. Like it has to have a little more.
You gotta have
and
more,
I was like, he's right. So I did add more. And then I then sent him the new edited expanded sex scene. And Carmine's like, that's pretty perfect. That's because I add a little line. I added a very George line in there. Carmine, can you send Trey the George line I came up with? Yeah.
Oh, did you message me on Facebook?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I got you. I'll find it real quick. I just find it funny how like in the original you kind of glossed over some of the sex stuff. I'm like, no, George would have gone into fucking detail. He would have like be hunched over on his desk with his Buffalo Wild Wings.
Once you pointed that out to me, because I was trying to think of any time in which sex was just like a line. Because like lots of things are just lines. Sometimes George has very detailed travel logs, and sometimes it's just people went somewhere, right? But I'm trying to think of like a time where it was just like, oh yeah, and then they had sex. And
you need to channel your inner George. Like what? Like I don't know about. I told this to Preston. I don't know about you, Trey, but when you read like the sex scenes, like Fat Pink Mast and Her Cunt Was the World, I'm not imagining the characters having sex. I'm imagining George.
You're imagining George writing it.
I'm imagining George over going, and then her cunt was the world. Like with the creep laugh and like his fingers stained by barbecue sauce. Like I'm imagining this. Like I'm not imagining like the characters doing it.
I think of babes.jpg when we were on George R. R. Martin's website.
Oh right. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh, this is gonna get clipped out of context. Oh fuck, we're fucked.
Oh man.
Oh, when writing for the fanfic, do you ever worry that ending nearly every chapter on a cliffhanger is cheap? Not criticism, just curious.
That's George.
I mean,
that's George, though.
yeah, I mean, a lot of it, that's the thing is I'm trying to be like George. And think about how he ends his chapters, you know? And I'm not saying all of them end that way, but a lot do.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, as you get later. So you know, like take the let's see.
Like I'm trying to think of a random one.
I mean, at least the last
Davos
chapter
one.
does. Yeah.
The last chapters typically do. I'm like Davos, where it's like
Davos is a cliffhanger. Sansa's last one is a cliffhanger. Arya's is
Tyrion getting kidnapped. Tyrion getting kidnapped by Jorah.
I mean, all of Arya's end up all as cliffhangers. Like she goes blind, you know, and then cliffhanger.
Barristan looking outside the temple, like after the coup, when he sees the fire, the dragons escape. Like that's a cliffhanger.
Yeah. So I mean, he does it a lot.
He does it a lot. Like I'm trying to think of like ones that aren't, because like there's like the Jon ones where like what's her name, Alice Karstark shows up or whatever. Torrhen shows up. Like it's kind of cliffhanger.
I'm even thinking about like Tyrion ones. I mean, because the more chapters he has, the more likely he wrote them in clumps and then cut them. But even Tyrion, like, you know, when the Widow of the Waterfront, that's kind of a cliffhanger, because she's like, yeah, I'll send you off, and you know, and you're like, well, what's going to happen next? And then, or he gets kidnapped by Jorah, or you know, he's picked up by slavers, or you know, each one is, most of them are cliffhangers, not all of them, but but most are. So I think it's more that it's trying to be like George than anything else. Like it's the same with like most of my chapters begin like in the middle of the action and then flash back to how they got there, which is also how George does everything. He like picks up in the middle of stuff. He doesn't do it always, but he does it a lot. I would say most of the time he does it. And so, I mean, I do fear that, you know, rather than doing it most of the time, I'm doing it all of the time, you know, or something like that. That's like a fear of mine. Like,
I don't think like George does it a lot is the thing. Like it is George's style, like both of those things, to start in the action and then go back and then to end on a cliffhanger. Like that's just how he writes his chapters.
Yeah.
And it's in some ways it's like an effective way to write it, because it's an efficient way to like hook the reader and then do exposition kind of, and then also to hook you for the next chapter to keep reading. So
keep going, keep your heart pounding. So I mean, it's not I mean, is it cheap? Well, sure. It's George learned it in Hollywood. I mean, he learned it in Hollywood.
We like, you often think of like the first season of Game of Thrones where they all end on a cliffhanger too.
They all end. Yeah, you're right.
Except for
every
that
episode,
one.
except for that one
where Ned just looks at Arya fighting with swords, and he doesn't.
Which is really, now looking back, is a really stupid scene. Like, why would Ned be like looking at her brooding, being like, "Oh no,
no, it's happening again."
You don't remember, but when he's looking at her, the noises of like battle and war are in the background,
right?
Like having some kind of PTSD moment. You don't remember that, but it's there.
But I mean, this man literally spent the past 15 years like looking over his sons in the yard, like battling with swords, and so like him looking at Arya with a sword, battling, like that's going to give him PTSD.
Ned has no problem with violence, you know. You know, Ned's not some pacifist, right? Like he didn't want to kill Dany because she was a little kid, right? Like,
by the way, Preston, for the fanfic, because you said you wanted to be like George, Preston has to intentionally write the incorrect order of steps in saddling a horse to be accurate to George,
just to make it like George.
He's right.
He's got to have how old's Egg? He's like 7. What is he?
I think he's 8. Yeah,
He's
I think he's
8,
8 in the
and you're
Hedge
like,
Knight, and
you ask me, and you're like, can a 7-year-old can an 8-year-old saddle a horse? And so they're like, I don't know. I don't. You're right that I don't think so. Like that's the thing is, I'm not like aware of like there would be kids at the barn that I would work at, but I would like not aware like I don't know the difference between like 7 and 10 years old or whatever. Like they all gotta look the same to me. They're all just like little kids.
I mean, the thing is, like, so I live in an area with lots of kids, so I see the kids and the ages, and it's just like, could I see a 10-year-old? But there's also these weird things of like they did it together, and it's like Dunk is 6'11". Like what do you do? Like just like
I like your reading that Dunk's just being very nice. Like
Yeah.
Egg is not actually helping that much, but in his mind he's like he wants to keep him around. So
he
he's
wants
trying
to keep him
cut
around.
himself
It's
flat.
all
It's
all
kind of
he
beautiful.
wants to make him think that he's useful.
It's totally unintentional. George is not thinking about that, but it is like a beautiful read of the story,
I love it. It's like, oh, he did a lot of work at camp. And it's like, what work? Like collected some sticks for the fire? That's fucking 20 minutes. Like,
he brushed that fucking Swiftfoot down. He got the little brush out. It was a hard job for him.
A lot of hard work when he put his mind to it. Like, what are you fucking talking about? So much work at the camp. Wow. Maybe I will take you on as a squire. For picking up sticks for 20 minutes? Like who'd win in a trial by combat? George R. Martin or Tolkien?
Like physically fighting?
Okay. Like Tolkien wasn't Tolkien actually in the military?
He was in World War One. Like, are we talking like prime versions of both of them? Because it's not even a fight, George was
fight.
you
like
see
Tolkien.
You see
Tolkien
that picture of George from like high school?
Like George was a conscientious objector, who writes stories where characters run one kilometer and are exhausted.
Yeah, look at this Tolkien. He looks like T.E. Lawrence here. Like I don't know. Like I always think of that picture of George like in high school or college that we have where he's clean shaven and we're like, oh, George, you need that beard, man.
Yeah. It's this one. Let me think here. I mean, he so here he is in his early 20s. And and then yeah. And then there's the one with him in the peace sign on his graduation cap.
Because like I don't think George's ever talked about being in fights as a kid or anything. Like no, I don't think he.
That's not him.
It's not him. Yeah. I think Tolkien went to war. Tolkien probably has a kill count. Like Tolkien killed people.
Yeah. And that's the thing is so much of fighting is actually like the willingness to do something. If you've never been in a fight, you're gonna pull punches. You're gonna be wary about punching somebody in the face, and doing all of that. When you've actually like done training and you've taken the taboo off of stuff, you're gonna fucking Tolkien would just murder him.
Tolkien was at the Somme. He was at the Battle of the Somme, like one of the worst battles of the entire war. Like Jesus.
Not to mention, I mean, George is tubby and short. I don't know what's
how
Tolkien's
tall
height,
is George? George Martin height. Like how tall is George? George is 5'6". I'm taller than George R. Martin. That's crazy.
Yeah. Now Tolkien wasn't exactly tall.
Okay.
Tolkien was 5'9".
Okay, so Tolkien was just like a hair shorter than me. Like I'm 5'10". I'm just like
Yeah.
slightly taller than Tolkien. George Martin's tiny. I didn't realize he was 5'6".
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually quite
That's
striking when
crazy.
I met him that he was actually quite short.
Because I assumed he was like I assumed he was big and tall at the same time. I thought he was a big guy.
I realize most of the pictures you see him, he's sitting.
Yeah.
You don't see that many.
I met that impersonator at Dragon Con, and he was taller than me. That's like not accurate at all. Like he was
Yeah.
big fat guy, and he was taller than me, and that's not George R. Martin.
No.
Yeah.
George is smaller than you think.
Oh.
I'm trying to find one because like so many pictures are him sitting, but oh, here we go. Here's a good one.
Little George. Yeah, okay. So like Ira Parker is like my height probably.
Yeah. And
They're all leaning in. They're all
Dunk
shrinking
is my
him.
height. So you can see like he's not that much taller than the child.
Oh my gosh, that egg actor is gonna grow up quick. I can tell already in this photo. He's gonna fucking shoot up in season 3. He's gonna be lumbering around like so not good. He's gonna like
yeah. And
he looks pretty he looks relatively tall here.
So Ira Parker is around George's height. So it's like when you see some pictures of like Ira Parker next to the actor that plays Dunk, you can kind of like oh, and this one it doesn't look so bad, but here's Dunk with them. And you can kind of see.
Okay.
We already know
that
what George thinks about that.
Yeah.
It is helping him, you're right. Also,
yeah, no, that hat is definitely like
Ira Parker's got the flow. He looks like what's Jamie's buddy with the red hair? Shoot.
John Cohen?
The one that helps him no, the one that helps him like with sword practice.
Adam
Marbrand. Kind of look like how I envisioned Adam Marbrand right there. Yeah. He missed his calling.
You envision Adam Marbrand as Ron Weasley with a mullet?
Yeah, why not? yeah.
By the way, George has when we interviewed George, we actually did ask him like if he could take Tolkien in a fight, and George did on record tell us that he could. Don't you remember, Preston, when we interviewed George R. Martin?
When did you interview George R. Martin? Was this like an AI creation or something? What was this?
No, I can play it for you if you'd like. No, it's not an AI creation. Like, just don't say anything, Preston. But none of you say anything because it'll come through my speakers. But here, I'll play it real quick. When we interviewed George, this is what he said.
Yeah, The Lord of the Rings is pure garbage. Yeah, I think I could probably beat up J.R.R. Tolkien. I hear he's a wimp.
Yeah. You don't remember that? We interviewed him.
I don't remember him ever saying this, but okay. That's the evidence is there. It's that's clearly him.
What about Trey? What about during the interview when I asked him about Jon Snow and why he created Jon? I won't play.
Okay, that is true. That is true. I did hear that.
That one I won't play.
Even if George finishes wins, how long would it take him to complete his sweat? Dance took a year, if I recall. Could he be sweating as he goes? Is the sweat means like? Is that his tour? Is his sweat?
His sweat. What is that?
Oh, like when between when he like finishes the book and when he like starts writing again. But I would say
the hard work of writing itself. The sweat. I'm like looking it up right now.
Oh, is the sweat like editing?
I guess it's just how long to complete his sweat. What the heck do you mean, Barry? I'm sorry, man. Never heard that before.
I mean, maybe he means. Oh, I mean, if he's talking about sweating it as he goes, he must be talking about editing, like editing and like rewriting and stuff. George does rewrite constantly. Essentially, like he goes back and looks at chapters again and rewrites them and tears them up and throws them out. he doesn't really throw them out. He'll always save them and reorder them. He doesn't throw anything out. He saves text all the time.
Quinn saying he talked about the sweat and talking about the dance blog. It's when he tightens material. It doesn't take him that long. For dancers, a few months.
That's specifically when he's talking about making writing more efficient.
Okay.
You know, like I think the best example ever is when people talk about like efficient writing, is Julius Caesar has this really, the play by Shakespeare, is you take Mark Antony's speech versus who's the others? Brutus's? And the first one is I'm going to bring up the Julius Caesar text because it's one of the it's really a beautiful here we go. Brutus says, here we go. This is it. This is genius stuff of Shakespeare. But okay, so oops. What? Oh, there it is. So
I'm trying to duck out of the way.
Oops. Me here.
But Brutus was an honorable man, or Brutus is an honorable. I'm like thinking about it. It's a good play that
Brutus says, "Romans, countrymen, and lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to mine honor, that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses, that you may be the better judge." Now, this is by no means bad writing. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But Romans, countrymen, lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear, is a lot different than friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. And Shakespeare is purposely doing this. He's having beautiful but clunky, long, like writing. And then when Mark Antony comes in and does the same, I've got to fucking bring up the. Oh, did I? Yeah. So you have him do the same, like what is it? I'm going to bring up the same play. But George does this with regards to lend me your ears. I mean, the fact that
you're right. We've seen it in the drafts where he merges two sentences into one or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think this is like so brilliant, like what Shakespeare does here. Be patient to the last. Romans, countrymen, and lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and I have respect to mine honor, that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses, that you may be the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Beautiful stuff. But compared to Mark Antony, friends, Roman countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do their lives after him, the good is often inherited with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. Like, it's the same information in just short, efficient, catchier, more powerful lines. And it really shows off Shakespeare's incredible writing style, that he's able to write in these two voices and be like, this is great. This is. but this is better. And this is like the George R. Martin process. Yeah, I get sweating. I guess I forgot that was the term. But how long does it take? I don't know if it takes that long, because he's specifically talking about not the reordering and re-editing, but the actually just making lines more efficient and punchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, which he says doesn't take that long, because it's his editing process. Though he hasn't edited a book in a while, but this is why he used to like to edit.
Well, this is also one of the reasons why George said this.
I honestly have stopped writing. I kind of just steal ideas from Preston's live stream.
That's true. Oh, that's fine. It's really funny how King's Landing keeps sending people to their deaths by getting involved with Dorne. It's like feeding crickets to a lizard. I mean, yeah. It's like, why do they keep going for Dorne?
Like, Dorne does nothing. Dorne, who gives a shit?
No resources. You got some lemons. Just take lemon wood.
The citrus. They need that citrus stuff. They need because you're right that the spears do nothing. The 10,000 spears, which aren't even 10,000 spears, right? It's like less than that.
Mm-hmm.
Do jack all so far. And how efficient are they going to be in battle? I don't know. You're not going to siege castles with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, even historically, is it just the manifest destiny aspect? Like, I need to take this land, and that's the end of it. But why? Spain did fine, never taking Portugal. I mean, they did take Portugal for 10 years and then lost it. But if it's too hard to take, just don't take it. Just don't take it. Dorne's not doing anything. It's a big desert. The only reason we care about the Middle East is because they have oil and holy sites, right? If it didn't have these resources of petroleum and potential parking lots for American tourists to go on their pilgrimages, why would we care about the Middle East at all? It's way too difficult to bother. It's the same with Dorne. Why are they bothering with Dorne? Why? Should have taken all that.
Because you're right that I guess is the idea that the Vulture Kings are encroaching on the borders of the Seven Kingdoms. Is that the kind of thing? The thing is that the Vulture Kings still come up after Dorne's joined the Seven Kingdoms.
In the kingdom, right?
Does jack all? It doesn't
do anything, right? They're still there.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you that Dorne. If you're gonna waste all of these resources on Dorne, take something better. Take Bravos.
There is a single part of Fire and Blood where they talk about the possibility of conquesting Bravos or one of the free cities. It's why didn't we try to do that more often? Those places would be so wealthy and valuable for us. If we care about money. Yeah, it's weird.
Why the
stepstones?
They fight over disputed lands. Why do Lyse, Tyrosh, Myr, Volantis fight over the disputed lands when apparently there's nothing there? They just do. Sorry, there should be a better explanation for that. I chalk up that as just as Westerosi are outsiders, and they're just this is useless quibbling, but in fact there's a really good reason that they're fighting over the disputed lands.
Yeah.
Would Walder Frey have betrayed Robb Stark anyway if Robb had kept his vow? He was always scummy and just needed pretexts. Fans are too harsh on Robb. I mean, I do agree with you. I think that when you say would Walder Frey betray him, depends what's offered. It depends what's offered and what he's going to get. So yeah, if Tywin still offering him River Run and all of these things, Walder Frey is a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong. There's no, I say, from the beginning, he should have. The banners were called, and he didn't send his men, and that's the fact that like Robb agrees to marry a Frey. It was just giving him something that he shouldn't have. He should have said, yeah. I said this in my going over. He should have said, yeah, I'll marry one of your daughters or granddaughters, and then the minute his forces cross the bridge, they just fucking attack the twins and fucking put Walder Frey to the sword for not going and when they called it banners, in the first place, he's just not to be trusted. So no, I think there's a very good chance that Walder Frey would have betrayed Robb anyway. That the marriage thing was pretext. Yes, absolutely. So they frame Walder Frey as really obsessed with his reputation. So, maybe you could argue that he didn't want to be laughed at.
I do like. I think you're the one that I first heard this from, Preston. That the hate between Tully and Frey, or at least the modern hate, is like this misunderstanding between like him being called the late Walder Frey, and like he misinterpreted as him like he's about to die, versus like he showed up late to the thing. Like he doesn't actually realize that he showed up late to the trident. Where did he show up? He
showed up late to the trident. But you are right that in the text he's misinterpreting what late means. Yeah, and takes it as a big insult. I mean, it is an insult. It's just he's taking the insult in the wrong way.
The wrong way that he's going to die. Like I do like that idea that like the hate is all just a bad misunderstanding. Like I guess he still would be insulted about being late. Like I guess you could maybe make the interpretation that Walder Frey doesn't see him showing up to the trident as him being late. Like he legitimately tried showing up on time, and he just didn't come in time.
Right. I mean, it's true that like Tywin, like Walder being a piece of shit in the modern story isn't necessarily evidence of him being a piece of shit at the trident. Like that could have been an honest mistake. You know.
Then again, George messes it up with the Hedge Knight stuff, where Walder Frey's annoyed as a child. You know, like
it's true.
It's like the Viserys thing, where you want to think that Viserys was shaped by his environment, and like, wow, that's kind of beautiful that like his environment caused him to be a bad person. And it's like, no, he was evil from a baby. He was
crazy. It's crazy from the beginning.
Like, damn, George, that's like way more compelling story to be like.
With Tywin, the first looksmaxxer. So I think looksmaxxing is kind of funny because, like, obviously, all of us have some degree of vanity, like some degree. Yeah. Like you're no one's leaving the house with like spinach in their teeth and shit smeared on their face or whatever. Like you can't, like, everybody cares to some degree. Like some people are like, oh, I don't care about my looks. No, everybody cares. Like if you're the type of person that is trying to put on the view that you don't care about your looks, that's a look in and of itself. But there's obviously like everything goes to extremes, and this clavicle guy is clearly psychotic.
What's his name?
He's also like doing drugs. He's also high on drugs all the time. Yeah. He's also like crazy.
I don't know. What's his name, Carmine?
It's clavicular, right?
Clavicular?
There you go.
Okay.
But Preston, this person's pointing out, like, I didn't notice this on first read, but when you're doing the going over Tywin stuff, that like there's a very clear contrast between Tywin and Kevin. Like Kevin is okay with aging. He's okay with looking bald or like having double chin or whatever, having like a receding hairline. He doesn't care. He's not focused on that. He's himself. He doesn't care. Well, Tywin, as like a 50-year-old man, is like trying to be buff, and he's shaving his head,
and he's super buff for his age. And you're right that like there's no need for it. He's not in a society where there is even a group of men that praise this sort of thing. Which is kind of odd, right? This is like, even in our society, there's a group, like, you understand that, like, Joe Rogan, with his obsession of being like enormous or whatever. The thing is, Joe Rogan's also like 4 feet tall. So he's trying to compensate, and he's trying to look awesome in his mind. But there's actually a large number of men out there who are equally insecure, who like look at him and are like, yeah, that guy, that's a man. I don't know, like, are there that many people in this society that look at Tywin and are like, wow, man, that guy's fucking awesome. You know,
nobody says that.
He's all muscular and shit. Like, yeah. I don't know, maybe.
You're right that it made me think of, like, if I saw a 50-year-old man now, like in today's world, like Tywin, trying to be like Tywin, I would be like, that's embarrassing. Like, that's like a Florida, Las Vegas, like dude bro, yeah.
I mean, Joe Rogan is the perfect is like
the perfect
to
example.
a T what Tywin kind of is supposed to look like, right? Shaved head.
Because everybody thinks of the show Tywin, and the show Tywin's suave, Charles Dance,
gentlemanly.
He's skinny, he's thin, like, you know, he's like spindly but tall, but he's not like athletic or anything, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think of Charles Dance as like he looks fit for a person his age, but he's not buff, you know.
But Joe Rogan
gentleman.
is specifically that.
Yes.
And keep in mind, like, it's harder in real life without supplements and strange diet stuff. Like, it was really hard for people to be buff. And granted, this is a fantasy environment, so, but Joe Rogan's 58, but while Tywin is Tywin 50?
It's Tywin younger than Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah,
you're right. You're right that I looked up Joe Rogan height, and it says although Joe Rogan like officially claims his height's 5'8", it's like people think it's actually 5'4". like people think he's.
I've got a buddy who I've got a buddy in Austin who used to send his kid to the same school as Joe Rogan, and he said it was just like, he said it was disgusting because he arrives to pick up his kid, and like there's like a group of dudes that keep like going around, like surround Joe Rogan and try to talk to him, and it's just like, dude, like, one, the guy's a piece of shit, but two, like, why are you trying to talk to him? Like what are you doing? Like, just, but he said it was ridiculous because he shows up and he's so like, he was just like, he's so fucking short. Like, he's shorter than George R. R. Martin.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, George, God, we're blasting George today. Holy shit, poor guy.
I mean, let's give props to George R. R. Martin's not looksmaxxer.
George R. R. Martin's okay with being, you know, looking like him. He doesn't complain, you know. He's made his peace with it.
Okay, in the story, oh God. No, man. Tywin dies at 58.
Holy shit.
I know, right? I'm just saying, like, I mean, granted, Tywin's got the mutton chop things, but he shaves his head to completely hide his baldness. I mean, I keep my head, my hair.
Because Tyrion says something like Tywin Lannister doesn't believe in half measures.
Half measures, right?
Yeah, he praises
and then he also said he's like so muscular that he was like cords of muscles in his like body and stuff.
And does he say something like his stomach's as flat as a boy's or something like that?
Yeah.
Or am I mixing up with Victorian?
He looks as fit as a guy 20 years younger or something.
Yeah.
And it's just mad
because Victorian's kind of similar. Victorian talks about like how like he has like abs and stuff. Like he's like, yeah, I'm as athletic as. At least Victorian's like probably like 30 something, right? Like how old is Victorian?
But see, I almost accept it more with Victorian because he comes from a fucked up society, but he's also doing the fucking fighting.
Yes, he actually fights on the front lines and gets injured and stuff. Yeah. He's got reason to look that way. Okay, Victorian's between 39 and 42 years old. So
we don't even fucking know.
Early 40s.
Jesus.
Yeah. That's so funny.
That's such a window for him that he could be anywhere from 31 to...
Really? He could be 31 years. He could be Victorian's like a 30-year-old guy. He's a millennial.
He's younger than all of these other. That's he's close to the same age as Tyrion. What is this like?
The Greyjoys are really funny with their ages, the Greyjoy brothers, because you have like Balon being the oldest, so you have to have like Euron, then Vic, then Aeron, or is Aeron older than Vic?
You get this impression that Arryn is younger than all of them because he's getting the molested.
Oh yeah. That's that too. Yeah.
But
that's really funny that Aryon's like my age. That'd be really funny if Arryn Greyjoy is like 25.
I don't think Arryn is supposed to be pretty young. I mean, Aeron Damphair is actually probably pretty fucking...
He's supposed to be 27 to 29 years old. Fuck off. I'm almost the same age as Aeron. Like, Aeron should be in the club, dude.
That's these things you don't think about. Like, Aeron Damphair and Tyrion Lannister are like of an age.
They're the same generation. They're both
Tyrion's 27.
They're both Gen X, so they should be around the same age. Him and Arryn. They should bond over knowing the same movies, commercials, toy lines growing up. You know, they both grew up with Phantom Menace.
There should be like a backstory where they like met once at like a tourney, you know, they're the same age.
Because everybody focuses on like the Ned Stark generation. Like, there's Ned, John Connington, whatever. Nobody focuses on the generation after that. You know, the generation before them and the young characters like Jon. You know,
right? Because you're right that like everybody of the Ned Stark generation, they all seem to fucking know each other. They all fucking were like hanging out at Harrenhal.
At Lysa, like Oberyn, like they all fucking hang out. Like, you're right that like the 20-year-olds in the story, you know, you don't hear much of them. That's really funny. That's really funny that the Aeron Damphair is my age.
He's the same age. He's the same age as Tyrion. The thing, I'm just imagining, because he used to be a fun fucking drunk. You know, like, don't you think like he and Tyrion, if they were at the same location, would like get along?
Yeah. That's going on the fanfic, baby. That's going to...
Well, you got to figure out like when Aeron... Because Aeron was goes crazy
until the war. Until after the war? No, it's in the war, right? Him drowning in the...
Yeah. It is. But that means that's when he's like... Oh my God, he's like 16 years old.
Yeah.
He's like 16 years old.
Yeah,
and this is going. Oof.
That's like add another dimension to it that he becomes like hyper religious.
You think of a man, and it's a 16-year-old. It's a 16-year-old kid.
It's a kid. He's younger than Theon when all this is happening to him.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think George thought about this stuff.
No,
that's the thing,
I don't think he did.
I like the idea that Vic Tyrion could have met Tyrion. Like, they're all the same age. They're all Gen X. They're all Gen Z. They're all Zoomers.
Be funny if like Aeron Damphair like met Tysha first. They like dated. Like back when they were like 12. It's like,
now you make me wonder what other Song of Ice and Fire characters are in their late 20s. Like, what's going on here? Like, it's hard. Like, that's the thing.
Darkstar?
Is Darkstar? How old's Darkstar? Star age. I can't find anything on him. He's around this. Oh my God, he's around the same age as the Hound, Tyrion, and Edmure Tully. So okay, we got a nice combination here. We got Edmure Tully, Aeron Damphair, Vic, the Hound, and Tyrion, and Darkstar are all like the same. They all could have gone to college together.
Right, but all we need is like, oh, there was a I know there's a Lannisport tourney after the Greyjoy Rebellion, but you could have like another tourney, like we could call it like the Seaguard tourney. Like, oh, you know, we all went to the Seaguard tourney, and they were all like drinking and talking, and that'd be just be a fucking random thing. Tyrion and Aeron Damphair at the. I mean, he's not Damphair yet, but Aeron at the Seaguard tourney or something when they're 14 years old. Drinking and having a good time. Just make it up.
We're gonna post about this.
But yeah, I mean, the point is everybody's a looksmaxxer, but obviously, look like maxing is when you're just going to a fucking weird psychopath like level with it. But obviously, whatever clavicle man or whatever his name is like psychotic. Like he's just off his rocker.
Clavicle man.
Clavicle. For the next Sam chapter, you could utilize a lot of Under Siege parallels and have Sam enter Tyrion's mind. You need to do POV and Marine could be fun. Stop reading my fucking diary. Okay, stop fucking reading my goddamn diary. Okay, God damn it. Longtime fan was wondering if you had heard of the Game of Thrones submod for Crusader Kings 3 and consider playing it on stream. So yeah, the Crusader King guys, the guys that did the mod, enormous fans of Ice and Fire. Impressive work. And I know that they also like were fans of mine too, and they included Chad Summerchild and House Summerchild and stuff in there, which is pretty cool.
What? Really? How do you know about that?
What in the Crusader King mod?
Yeah, how do you know they included Chad Summerchild in there if you don't play it?
Because people have sent me fucking screenshots of that shit.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm about to say because you don't really play games that much.
No. Now, regarding that, I've looked into whether it would be fun to play Crusader King on stream or something like that, and people have told me the unfortunate problem with it is, yes, it's a great game, but there's a lot of like downtime and farming that goes in between the battles and such that make it so that it's not exactly something that's very entertaining for other people to watch. I think Glitus did some Crusader King kind of stuff and like ran into that problem where it's just like, I've got to cut out like all of this, stuff in between. But Carmine, you've played it, right?
Yes, extensively. CK2, the Game of Thrones mod. You're right. It's a lot of it is just sitting back and waiting for stuff to happen, doing micromanaging. It is not a fun game for stream unless your gaming channel strictly focus on CK Game of Thrones, and even then, like, it can be boring. The playthrough take long hours. The one thing I will say is fun is literally 5 seconds after you start the game, because if you start the game at the Crown Stagged era, which is basically the day Robert becomes king, like wait 1 week in the or 1 month in the game, and things go crazy. Like I would love for you to do that at least at one point, Preston, because the characters go in wildly different directions. For example, for some reason in my game, after I started, a month later, Cersei joins the Silent Sisters, and Robert comes out as gay, and Jorah joins Satanist cult. Like random stuff like that, and Ned Stark dies of an infection, and somehow Rickon takes over after killing his brothers. Yeah. Like crazy stuff like that happens all the time. Would you have a good time playing it? Yes, but I know you said
I don't have the kind of time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The Sir Gregor was a celebrated raconteur. The raconteur is a storyteller. So one of the things that was shocking about the latest Tyrion chapter that I went over for Game of Thrones is that like the mountain has so many lines, and you're like, whoa, the dude talks, right? Like we're like, whoa, because you just don't think about the mountain having many lines other than like short screamy lines, like shut up when he's like fighting Oberyn.
Yeah.
But he actually has like a whole bunch of fucking lines in the last Tyrion chapter where you're like, whoa. But yes, was he a celebrated storyteller? I don't know. But you're saying if if he's at the same tourney as Tyrion and Aegon Damphair and Edmure Tully, all drinking, what a time! What a time! If Varys keeps up the Aegon is legit line to dying Kevin because ears in the walls, why would he be speaking in his real deep non-eunuch voice? Very good point. That's a very good point. So yeah, what Longshanks is talking about is we kind of know that Varys at minimum plays up the eunuch thing. That his real voice is deep, which makes me wonder if he's actually even a eunuch. I think it'd be pretty funny if he's not a eunuch at all. And he's pretending to be a eunuch all of this time. I think that is hilarious.
So that story of him telling Tyrion like about him getting cut is just like
complete and utter bullshit. Yeah.
Complete bullshit.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
Right? Now you could just say, oh no, maybe he is a eunuch and he's just playing it up. He's hamming it up to seem less seem less threatening or something. But I would say if he's lying about his voice, he could be lying about anything. He could be lying about anything. We have no idea. What the story already. The stories that we hear about him don't really add up. So it'd be nice if just all of it's a lie. Kind of like how they talk about the Joker's origin story and how nobody knows the Joker's origin story because he just keeps making shit up.
You're right that yes, we even this late into the story we're getting that his origin's a lie. Like when Tyrion's talking to Illyrio, he's like what does he say? He says Varys is from Lice, right? And Illyrio's like, oh yeah, he's from Lice. Because he's from all over.
Moved,
he's from Myr, and then he's Lice, and then he's in Bravos or whatever. It is. You're right. People get hung up on this a lot. Like Varys talking to dying Kevin and calling Aegon legit. I could totally just see the explanation being that George didn't want to reveal that at the very end of the book just yet. He was just saving it for the next book. Like George could just have that as an out. He's like, I didn't want to reveal that yet. That's going to be a later book kind of thing.
Right. Or never revealed, or, I mean, it is kind of a goof that the room is filled with his little birds. And why would he want to reveal to all of his little birds that he's been lying about his voice when he could easily just keep his voice up for 3 more sentences? It was just so really it's a degree of Varys being sloppy. Why is he going masks off? For all these now all the little birds know that he's just been making this shit up and that he's not actually a eunuch. That's sloppy stuff. That's sloppy. So yeah, I mean, people have really analyzed the scene a lot, and
because it's the last thing we ever hear, right?
I think you're right, Trey. That the analysis is beyond the amount of care that George had. In the scene, George had a really cool scene, and he wanted to be a certain way, and he wanted to reveal certain information to the audience, and he wasn't thinking about how honest he's going to be based on if Kevin's going to die or the little birds in the room and stuff like that. Yeah, it's maybe Varys believes he's legit. Who knows? Or maybe legit is the story that he's telling is he if he repeats it even to himself, it'll start being legit. It doesn't. People are weird.
Because what? Okay, George, why have that? The Blackfires are extinguished on the male line. Bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why even introduce that if you're not going to use that, right?
I mean, obviously he wants us to think that. Obviously,
Yeah.
Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But he clearly wants the audience to be like,
wants that to be, yeah. Like the audiobook, the Roy Dotrice audiobook has that speech from Illyrio or whatever, and they added it in. Like they like there was a different take or something. Like Roy Dotrice must have fucked up or something, and so he'll like Illyrio's like, the Blackfires were extinguished, and he goes, on the male line, and then it goes back into the normal talking voice. I gotta find it. It's like very jarring. Like it's highlighted even more in the audiobook version. You're like, man.
Yeah, I think in earlier drafts he has more about it, but still, like, the in the male line is such a
sticks out,
obvious thing to stick out. Like,
yeah.
It's like it's like I said, like, if I said to you, like, I'm hiding a gun in my house. I'm sorry, there's no gun in my house. I've searched everywhere in the house except for the refrigerator. You'd be like,
there's probably a gun in there. That's
right, but I searched everywhere except for the refrigerator. Like, okay, like, but there's no gun in the house. Like,
oh man, George.
More trying to think of a better way that he could have done it. I mean, he could have just said it died out, and then they're like, and then later be like, he meant only in the male line or something.
The name died out. Yeah, say the name died out. The name died out, and that could be interpreted either way. Like gives you enough.
Oh, Trey, any tidbits over Nolan Odyssey controversy?
Oh, there's tons. I'm contemplating making a video kind of covering at least some of it, where there's a lot of stuff. Like, I was when the trailer came out, I kind of didn't like the armor designs. I kind of didn't like the look of the movie. The look of the movie looked too much like Dune. It looked like stark blacks and whites and grays and drab colors and stuff. And like, I don't know, if you're doing something set in like the Bronze Age, you could have so much fun doing cool colors and heraldry. It's like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, where like you want the fun armor and the fun colors and all that. Like, it just makes it more interesting.
Trey,
I want it to be dour and depressing.
Yeah, everyone wants to go dour and depressing with everything now, and it's just like, we don't need that.
Everything's
that's kind of Nolan's. That's kind of Nolan's thing. Like, Trey, have you ever seen Brad Pitt's Troy? I watched it recently. I really liked it.
Yeah. I there's parts of me that like Brad Pitt's Troy. I actually really like Sean Bean as Odysseus in that movie. He is like, he's he's like barely in the movie. He actually does like a pretty fun Odysseus performance. Where they have the fucking D-Day landers. They have like the little, they like open up, like, there's some very great performances in that Troy movie. Like the guy playing Menelaus and Agamemnon, they're nailing it. Like Sean Bean's nailing it as always. Peter O'Toole, Sneakers O'Toole, what is his name as King Priam? He does a great performance there. Like there's some strong performances. Like there's stuff that, like, I don't know, I do a little differently, but
is that
fine.
Controversy? I mean, like having bad costumes, is that really controversial? Like what's the
like the controversy, I guess, is the people being racist, the people that are like, they don't like black people.
Oh, and being anti-trans.
And anti, like, okay, the controversy I'm interested in focusing on is that Nolan talked about the translation of the Odyssey that he used is a scholar named Emily Wilson, and she a couple of years ago she published I actually really like Emily Wilson's translation of the Iliad and the Odyssey. It's very good. She's a classicist, a Greek scholar who translated and put a lot of thought into her translation and tried to make it, for her own reasons, more simplistic language. Like a lot of older translations go like with the thou and the arts, and it sounds like Shakespeare or King James Bible kind of thing. And she argued that like that's not how Homer would have sounded like to an ancient Greek, and then also like it makes it not accessible to us, and it like clouds kind of the way that you interpret the text, like
I like that approach.
Yeah, and people heard her talk about that, and like they hate her for several reasons, like that they think that she has cheapened the Iliad or the Odyssey by using more simplistic language. And like, for example, like she translates, there's a word that's attached to Odysseus. He's polytropos, like he's a man of many turns. He's a man of many twists. And she translates that as complicated man. I'm going to tell you a story of a complicated man. And like, there's some 4chaners that just like post her translation alongside a whole bunch of other ones, like older ones. And like, look at this woke, like modern liberal, like professor woman trying to cheapen the Odyssey. They like the movie got criticized for having like the word daddy in it. Like they we
talked about that briefly, right?
We talked about that. And her translation has daddy. It's used once. First of all, she only uses it once, and it's used by a child for a word that is basically the ancient Greek equivalent of like papa or daddy, like, and here's the thing is translators before her have done the same thing and had no criticism,
of course.
Like,
she's a woman, and it's
it basically boils down that she's a woman with tattoos and a professor, and conservatives hate that, because conservatives don't like that. And like there's like I saw this tweet that was saying that she inserted gay relationships into the Iliad. Her translation emphasized gayness in a way that
was it with Achilles?
The first time I've ever heard about Greeks being gay.
Yes. Like that's the thing. It's like I hate to break it to you, but that's in there. Like first of all, like because I'm planning to do a video about this. Like, what are they citing? Like, what's your example of her inserting gay relationships into the story? And like, I have found no example. Like, they're just saying it's in there, and I'm just like, what's in there is what's in Homer originally. So I don't know what you're talking about. Like, Homer is very like in ancient times, people were unclear about the relationship between Achilles and Patroclus, like the two heroes, the two warriors. Like it is intentionally vague in Homer, and people in ancient times, like in classical Greece, debated what the nature of their relationship was. And the majority opinion in ancient times was that they were like a same-sex relationship, that it was a romantic relationship within like a minority who claimed that it was just a relationship between friends.
Well, this is what I find about almost any story. Almost any story with two characters, people start talking about them romantically. It doesn't matter what story it is. Like, do I think that when Shakespeare wrote Hamlet, he had the Oedipus complex with Hamlet and his mom? I don't. But everybody is just like, there's an Oedipus thing. He wants to fuck his mom. Like that's just like there. But it's only because there's characters there. There's characters, like you put two characters on screen, on page, on stage. Everyone's like, are they romantic? You put Spock and Kirk.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, they're gay. Like, okay, well, like all the characters, when you pop them on stage together, everyone's like, are they going to fuck? Like, that's just human nature, is to take anybody in a story and saying they're times. Fucking. Like, that's it. Bert and Ernie, they're fucking. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
years ago.
It's the first thing that people do. Oh, like, I remember when, like, the Jon and Sansa stuff, like, Sansa's going to arrive at the wall. And, immediately everybody's like, Jon Sansa shipping, are they going to get married? Like, those are the first things, like...
And they find evidence for it. They find they're like, Sansa had a crush on Royce when he was visiting Winterfell, and he kind of looks like Jon. And then Jon has a thing for redheads, so he has a thing for Sansa. Like, it's like...
Trey, I got to call you out on this. Trey, I got to call you out on this because you kind of pushed the John Satin thing a little.
People, I am not. I don't actually believe in the Jon.
No, he's
Snow
just
thing,
being
but
funny.
I've seen people
Because it's such a
I've seen
fanfic thing.
It's fun as much as that is really funny, and I see the funny fan art of like the little gay John Satin thing. Like people have hyper fixated on it, where they're like in the battle that Satin's introduced, it's like John calls him pretty or something like that, or in his mind refers to Satin as attractive or pretty or prettier than most girls he's ever met or something like that. And people have interpreted that. It's like, why is John thinking that? Why is John thinking that? It's a battle. Why is he focusing on how attractive Satin is? And it's like, that's just George describing the scene, you know, like he has like Arya describing things very poetically and beautifully. And like, that doesn't mean Arya like is aware of like the beauty of the arches of Bravos or something, you know, like Arya's a little kid, like I think it's
Preston,
just George describing the scene. But
Preston wasn't there for the Duncan Lionel stuff that we on Twitter all the time during Night of the Seven Kingdoms. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just like, I'm saying it's just on a base level. Like I don't even like that. No matter what characters are on screen, people are going to envision them romantically. Like
people like that. Like people, like you see two attractive people, you want to put them together. That's just human nature, kind of, to do that.
Trey, I need to send you the Odyssey miniseries with Amando Monte. Have you ever seen it? Because if not, I can send it.
I watched it in high school. I'm gonna probably watch it again because I'm in like an Iliad Odyssey kind of mood. Just because, first of all, Emily Wilson's translation is one that people fucking hate. Like these thing that right wingers have like decided that they hate like that it's like she's destroyed. There was all these posts about it. I like took screenshots because it was like this crazy thing online where you see all these people coming out of the woodwork going like she's destroying Western civilization and stuff, and you're just like, it's a translation of the Odyssey. Like, calm the fuck down. Like, you could read older ones still, you know. You could read T.E. Lawrence's translation. You can read like the 1800s one. Like, it didn't destroy anything, you know. Like, but yeah. Like, it's funny, and it's funny people trying to act like ancient Greeks or like did not like that. That is if like making ancient Greeks gay is bad. Like, as a tab, like how dare you make the ancient Greeks gay? Like, that is horrible.
I mean, I think it's weirder that in 300 they tried to make the Spartans
the boy lovers line.
Right, yeah, that was the weird thing, is when they tried to make the Spartans straight in 300. I was like, "What are you?"
They have that line where they call Athenians those Athenian boy lovers. I remember this, and it's
and they make Xerxes like, you know, androgynous and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Like the Spartans were like it's like the pinnacle of gayness.
For Spartans in particular, it's very jarring. Where Spartans were probably the gayest of the Greek city states from what we know about them. There's this whole like Spartan mirage kind of thing where you don't know much about the Spartans from like their own sources, but like there's a thing that Spartan men apparently had a difficult, and this is probably like, you know, slander for like from like Romans or something like that, but Spartan men had difficulty having sex with women. This is the thing, and they had their wives had to dress up as a man for them to be able to perform sexually. This is, of course, like a joke in antiquity. This is something that people made up, but it's very indicative of like the idea that people had of Spartans at that time, that Spartans were a very gay culture.
So, by the way, on a little tangent, what I think is rather strange about people's perceptions about heterosexuality and homosexuality in antiquity is people act like it was either completely open and accepted, or, you know, or it didn't exist at all. Which when it's very clear that they were still having the same battles we have today. Like when they bring up that Nero had a boyfriend at one point, like that, it was in Suetonius, like, it's clearly being used as a way to insult Nero. You know, like no one was, you know, so like clearly there is a segment of the society that is against homosexuality. And clearly there's a segment of society that thinks it's fine. And so I always thought it was funny, like when they bring up like the symposium and they're talking about these philosophers, like in their conversation, they're completely fine with homosexuality and many of them are homosexuals, but that's one little segment, right?
You're you're seeing like the aristocratic opinion of like the philosopher. You're right that like it is a problem of sources where we don't know what the common person felt
Yeah.
about this kind of stuff. Yeah. It's
So,
very
I
good.
mean,
You can
I
look at
imagine
Greek
they were a
art.
very diverse society with opinions all over the place, you know.
From like the best I think that you can get is from like plays, which are for like the common people, and like you have instances where characters in plays say that they prefer men over women or something. Like there's like this like assumed bisexuality of like the society, and that certain people had an inclination for one or the other. Like I think that's the
right, but you never know. Like modern Indian cinema shows these incredibly progressive people running all over the place, dancing, having their musical numbers, and their society is incredibly strict, you know. Or like you could, you know, or you could take the reverse. And I mean, not so much now, but for many years, they wouldn't show interracial relationships on TV very much, even though they existed in society all over the place. Or like men and women sleeping in the same bed. Like everybody slept in the same bed, but on TV, they were in separate beds. And when no one lived like that, you know? So I don't know if entertainment necessarily is a mirror of what the common person is thinking or doing.
That's true. And you're right that all of our sources are from like aristocratic, upper class, like philosopher type. You can have like Greek, like there's Greek art and like ancient art that depicts like sex acts and stuff. So you get to see like what was the norm, like, but is that even the norm? Like when you go into Pompeii and you see like the sex acts depicted in like frescoes above the beds and stuff, like, is that what the average person did? Like, I don't know.
That's the thing. I mean, you could take something that's very, very common. I use the example of fake boobs, right?
Yeah.
Fake boobs are in fact all over the place. And all of us watch movie and entertainment and porn with people, with women with fake boobs. But would you just say that, like, would you regularly say if somebody said like, oh, do women normally get fake boobs in society? I'd be like, it's like you still don't think it's like a normal thing because you have this like idea of this is how many women I know in my life. And the number of fake boobs is down here. And so, or at least the ones I know about, you know? And so it's like, you know, I'm like, well, you know, I could maybe argue that like 2% or 3% of the women I know have fake boobs. So I wouldn't consider fake boobs like a regular normal part of modern society, despite the fact that every actor on TV and every porn person, 2%, whatever, 1% of America is literally millions of women with fake boobs, right? It's these odd things of like what is considered normal and what is considered like commonplace and stuff like that.
And it's hard to, you're right, from our sources that survive, it's very hard to parse that out. Like, what are the norms? That
Nolan.
I just got somebody, I see somebody in the comments saying, I think people took issue with Wilson interpreting all the servant helper roles as slavery and is using girls instead of women for shock value where the text doesn't call for it. I'm taking a screenshot of this right here because this is an example of somebody misinterpreting what Wilson's translation actually says. Wilson's translation. Previous translations would translate stuff as like slut or whore for certain words. And Wilson has gone into the Greek and been like, if you actually look at the Greek, the wording is neutral. It does not have a negative connotation either way. It says women that slept with men or something like that. More older translators have decided to translate it with this negative, like blaming the women, you know, like a slut,
right, because women that sleep with men are sluts, you know, so therefore, you know, but
and Wilson
I have the sentence,
like Wilson points out that like previous translations would translate stuff as servant. In the original Greek, it's slave. Like, you know, that's an important distinction. Like, they're not like, it's not like what's that show that British people watch?
Are you being served?
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey. Yes, Downton Abbey.
No, they're not like little maids that go into your house. Like, no, these are people. These are enslaved people that are property who exist for the purpose of like to have sex with. Like that's what ancient slavery was like. So like she's accurately translate, like that is a more accurate translation, I think, than doing like maid or servant or something. That's not like, I don't think that's woke, you know, like this is an example of somebody not looking at Wilson's like her reasoning. And Wilson explains this in like the in her introduction and stuff. She gives all, and she has annotations. She explains
what you're saying is her translation is actually pretty good, and these people coming out of the woodwork and criticizing her don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yes. Yeah, I know that's surprising. And a lot of times I don't think they've even read it. I don't even think they've read it. I don't even think.
Of course they haven't. You think like these guys creating like clickbait YouTube channels are sitting around reading like different translations of the Odyssey and like, I mean, it's a boring story, man. It goes on.
As somebody who, because I read bits of, like in high school, you read the Cyclops incident. Like everybody reads the Cyclops thing. That's all you read. Like that's all you read in high school. And like I finally took the time to like read it all the way through. And you're right. It's a pretty boring story. Like most of the story is people talking in rooms, and most of the story is oddly told in flashback. You know, like Odysseus comes home like 2/3 of the way through the story, and there's a whole third of the story that is just devoted to him just like wandering around at home talking to various people while he's in disguise for a very long time, for way longer than it needs to be. And like there's a point, it's like Frankenstein, where there's like a flashback within a flashback within a flashback. You're like, this is some chaos here. Like this is like I do not think Elon Musk has read this stuff. Like when Elon Musk like says that Emily Wilson is destroying Western culture, I don't think ketamine high off his ass all the time Elon Musk is reading any of this.
I mean, he clearly hasn't read a first page of an econ textbook, even though he claims he has. He went to business school. What percentage do you give for George R. R. Martin to release The Village Hero in The Winds of Winter? Maybe others in the call will give their predictions as well. I actually answered this last week. I give my percentage on The Winds of Winter is about 2%, and I give The Village Hero or She-Wolves of Winterfell about a 10% chance of being published.
Damn, that's it? Fuck.
Yeah. This guy, man. He's Where's Poochie is kind of in the same realm as me. But like I would not give like, it's not a high percentage, but it's not outside the realm of possibility with
just to remind you, a couple months ago we covered that 4chan post of that kid saying he knows it's coming, George's gonna make an announcement. Remember that? Yeah,
that fucking, like, I'm just angry that anyone could possibly have believed that, because it's
just to remind you that he said that George will announce something either from May 26th to the May 30th. So in a couple of days, according to him. I'm not saying I believe him, but just saying.
Yeah, a person that works at a publisher that can't be bothered to capitalize or use apostrophes in their messages. Yes.
You remember that?
I understand. Yes. In reconnecting with my dad, we went to see The Last Jedi when I was like 20, and some guy shit himself in the theater, and now we're closer than ever. I knew one of my friends when I was younger. She worked at the Gap in kind of it wasn't in a bad part of town, but it was the mall where people would come in from the bad part of town. So you kind of have a mix. And she said that like it was amazing how often people just shit in dressing rooms. Like it's just outrageous. Like how often people shit in dressing rooms, and how like every week, like literally every week, you'd have to like clean up shit. And people ask her like, I don't understand, like, why would they shit in the dressing room when there's like a bathroom like down the hall of the mall? And she's like, I do not know. I think it has to do with like dressing rooms are more private or something, or they go in there and they're just doing a long trip. They're doing a long thing of trying on different outfits, and then they feel like they need to shit and they don't want to like leave their stuff or leave all the outfits. So they end up just taking a shit and like wiping their ass with like the clothes, or maybe they think they're sticking it to the man in the system by like shitting in a Gap dressing room and wiping their ass with a shirt. I don't know, but it was just she said it was amazing, like how often people just shit publicly in dressing rooms. But I know this is a movie theater idea, but man, that makes me think of the same thing. Yeah, Charles III descended from William the Conqueror, but so are millions of other people who are ruling the House of England. It's changed several times. Every single person on Earth is descended from William the Conqueror. That's like William the Conqueror had like 500 children, and that was in 1066. Like at this point, you can even go to those isolated motherfuckers on islands in Indonesia or whatever. They're still descended from William the Conqueror.
That's the thing is there's exponential growth with each generation. He has 50 kids and they have fucking 100 kids collectively, and then they have, and like William the Conqueror what is that? 1066. That's like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah,
it's a long time to have that tons and tons of descendants who travel, who interbreed with other people, their descendants interbreed with their descendants. Yeah.
I found out about Lord of the Rings' biggest plot hole. It's the Witch King should have known where the Shire was when Sauron asks at the start. A tiny plot hole. I forget, because the Witch King is one of the men of But wait, because he tracks down them not very far from the Shire or something in the beginning. Is that the idea? I mean, the Witch King of Agmar, he's one of the 9 men of the Nazgul. His fictional history. Yeah, it must be because he was looking for he runs into them at the beginning. But Sauron's omnipotence and omniscience is kind of fucking random, right? Like he knows what the story needs to have him know, and he doesn't know what the story needs him not to know. Like why he's never able to track down Frodo with his abilities is pretty amazing. I mean, let's see here. Clearly Trey is descended from Buckethead. Do you know Buckethead?
I do know Buckethead, the guitarist, right?
He has like 55 albums of his guitaring. He was in Guns N' Roses for a while.
Heck yeah. Is it because of the hair? He's got big hair.
I think so. You just got to get the chicken, the KFC chicken bucket. Put it on. I miss Berserk with the Boys. Love it. More soon. I'll try. It's hard. It's the problem is just the 3 of us all getting time to get together.
We need Bible with the boys. You guys aren't ready for.
Trey, I was telling Preston about how that's going to piss off so many people because
whenever
you guys go into it, like people get pissy.
But, like that's the thing is like Bible. Scared the shit out of me.
That is insane. What the fuck is that? What the? Oh my god.
Oh my god. No, but those Bible videos, they do well. Like, if you want to make money, quick, easy money, just do a video about the Bible. Everybody has an opinion on that stuff. They come out.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. maybe Headcanon will get 1 million views. We'll get our own show.
I've been trying to push my pastor buddy to do a fucking channel for a while now because he does his church records him doing the sermons. So,
well, I will say that a lot of stuff appears now in my stream because once you look at one thing, it's all on my YouTube algorithm, and some people have views. I'm surprised how boring a lot of people are. I think when Trey and I discussed things, it was pretty fucking fun and interesting. So we'll see. I don't know.
I think so many people take the Bible way too serious. Like, okay, Christians themselves take the Bible way too seriously. Like the Bible becomes infinitely more fascinating when you cease to look at it as a sacred text.
And
as this infallible word.
So I will say there's something very similar about all of the stuff I saw on people talking about the Bible was you have all of the religious people who have a certain amount of reverence for it. And then you have a lot of scholars who are very serious about it. And then you have like ex-Christians who have a lot of pent up anger. But like none of the people have a very good sense of humor about it. And like nobody is like having a laugh about it. Which is like what Trey and I were doing. We had a pretty good fun. I guess I lost my voice. It's done. It's
fun. Like that's the thing is the Bible's fun. Like it's like I think a lot of people need to accept that the Bible's like fun when you look at it as kind of like it's a little goofy. It's a little all over the place. Like
right. I mean, in the same way as Ice and Fire and like. Is hilarious.
When you think of the timeline, you think of Tyrion being the same age as Danfair. Like it's fun. That's
right.
Fun.
They could possibly hang out.
I saw what you wrote on Twitter, by the way, Trey. People got so pissed with you, man. Because like whenever you do Bible stuff, bro, whenever you discuss anything religion, people just get so pissy with you.
People get so pissy. Like what was the thing that I saw? Like I got a whole people like unsubscribe. Like you said that the Bible contains an inaccuracy in it. Like they get upset. Like if you just say that like, hey, the archaeological evidence doesn't back this up. Like, let's see. Okay, this is a comment I got, Preston. The error would be in the historian's chronology, moron, not in the sacred scripture. They're like, if it's wrong, the archaeology's wrong, dumbass. Like, the Bible cannot be wrong. Like, if the evidence is wrong, if the evidence shows the Bible in error,
how when the Bible like, so very clearly contradicts itself? How I don't understand how anyone like it's one of the it is. I like it's easier to like explain away like how like Catelyn and the werewood at River Run than some of these things like you know what I'm saying like Catelyn thinking that there's no werewoods south of the neck when she lives at fucking River Run with a fucking werewood, right? Like clear contradiction, right? In the same fucking book. There are so many things that are worse. Like beyond worse in the Bible that like are just like outrageous. Like, oh man!
Like, I have to thank you. I have to thank you, Preston, for not because I was talking to Preston about it earlier, and he was telling me you guys record, and he goes, "Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to. I knew you wouldn't be interested." I'm like, "You're right, I'm not, and I don't want that smoke. Religious people, fucking nuts. I don't want that smoke. I really don't. So, please, by all means, you both go for it."
With Christianity in the Bible, you can kind of get away with it. Like I will never touch the Quran. Like I'm not touching the Quran because I just know Christianity. Like you have to deal with the Reformation, and there's a lot of like infighting between Christians. Like they kind of tolerate snarky atheist people like George Carlin or something, you know. They tolerate it. They hate us, but they're gonna act like they like us. They're like, well, like you come when you're ready. Like we still love you. Like they kind of do that kind of thing. But for like some sacred texts, like I ain't touching that.
Right. Well, you've seen like the there is
Like
a
you can
thing
make
of,
fun of Mormons. Like Mormons will just let you make fun of them. Like no tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
like I. Yeah.
there was an Onion cartoon with like Buddha, Jesus, and a whole bunch of others like having an orgy. Yeah. And it was essentially like the joke was they could have this cartoon and it's like not that big a deal. And of course, like the implicit thing being like the sensitivity of Muslims is like is different from the sensitivity of other people with their religion. So that I think that's, and it actually doesn't even say anything. It's just like it just shows all of these other characters having an orgy. And like Jesus like has his arm up like Buddha's ass. Like it's fucking really vulgar. Maybe they didn't get away with it and they had to fucking delete it because I'm like trying to find it online. But it's but yeah, there's a I think everybody knows about the sensitivity of criticizing the Quran.
Yeah. You can criticize Buddha. You can make fun of Buddha. You know, there's a Japanese anime where it's like Buddha and Jesus being roommates, and it's like a jokey anime. And it's like, yeah, they're just fine with it. You know, like, but some people, you know, some cultures, some religions, you just can't touch.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to touch. Maybe you just don't want to touch. You know, you don't want to touch it.
Well, it's like, you know, yeah. But yes, there's a degree of sensitivity. But yeah, I mean, there's not that much smoke, not much fire. I'd say we were pretty respectful. We didn't say anything. We didn't have Jesus. We didn't have Jesus.
Ironically, there is a YouTuber in the stream chat right now who focuses on these types of conversations. I'm probably saying your name wrong. Gnostic Informant. He's in the stream chat right now. If you look at him, like his whole channel is basically discussing religion. I don't know if you guys know him.
Like from what perspective? Like,
click his channel.
It can mean a lot of things, you know. It can mean a lot of things.
Plato's divine golden ratio found in Hebrew, Genesis, like just random religious videos. When it comes to religion, I tune out. I just don't give a fuck.
It's fascinating. I'm of a different opinion. I think it's pretty fascinating stuff. And it like impacts us, you know. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. I grew up very religious. I think that might be my thing. Is I grew up very religious, and you're right. Me and Preston in the video, we're not. You know, we said things that are all evidence based. We're citing like biblical scholarship that's pretty well known. And we're not bad. I don't think we're bad. Like that's the thing about Christians. They really don't like any level of criticism of biblical texts. Like if you question it, like even just the idea of questioning it or doubting details in the Bible or pointing out that there's a contradiction here, they hate that. Or at least the Christians that I grew up with, like they don't like you asking questions, period. Like at least the religious upbringing I came from.
Also, if you bring up that their interpretation is not the right interpretation, they're like, what are you talking about? Like, oh my God, like how dare you say that? So like a big one is about like whether the Trinity is evident. Is there evidence of the Trinity in the New Testament? And most biblical scholars would say no. But you know, what they're taught in their church, their youth group, their Bible study is absolutely it is. So like for example, there's a situation where Jesus shows up at the temple and there's a guy who needs healing, and the people at the temple are like, don't you know that they say only God can forgive sins or heal or whatever. I'm conflating the story a little bit, but I'm messing up the story a bit. And Jesus replies something like, so that you know, like I can do it too, you know. depending on the translation. And so a lot of people, like if you're believing the Trinity, you're like, well, there's no contradiction. The people at the temple were saying only God can do this. Jesus did it. Therefore, Jesus is God. And another person would be like, no, Jesus went in and they said only God can do this. And Jesus is like, no, you're wrong. I can do it too. He's just saying that like he can do it too. And like, that's all he's saying. Right. And so there's this big like disagreement here because this is one of the passages that people use to try to prove the Trinity, but it doesn't really prove the Trinity.
The Trinity, I'm going to break it to people. See, this is the thing. This is going to be controversial. The Trinity is not in the Bible. Like this is this is a later thing people have shoved in. Like this is a later thing that people.
This is why people like argued about it for fucking centuries and had schisms right and left about it. Yeah. Like, you know, is Jesus divine or mortal? Is he the Son of God or is he God? Like, is it a Trinity or are they two? How are they one simultaneous or are they three? Like it's so
like
stupid. It's so stupid.
I've seen like the retcons. Like it is like George R. Martin retcons, like where like they're like, you know, the angel that Jacob fought, you know, Jacob's ladder, like the angel that Jacob fought and wrestled with, that was actually Jesus. Like you're like,
the fact that they're like unfucking ironically, there are so many people that teach and talk about the pre-incarnate Jesus, the pre-incarnate Christ, and him existing in the Old Testament. Like all over the place. Like Jesus in the Old Testament stuff comes up all the time. Like, in this passage, we know that this is the pre-incarnate Christ. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like there was no Jesus in the Old Testament. Like, but they fully, you know, it's like I said, it's like looking for Blood Raven in a Game of Thrones. Like
it's a little too much right now, like spoiling with the video. Because is this what the video's going
to be? No, this isn't at all.
No.
Our whole video's on Mark.
Yeah, okay, we talk about other more specific things, but yeah. Sorry, I'm like sidetracking the conversation.
No. Just no. Again, like I try to stay away from this stuff. I've always had a bad experience with religion. I want nothing to do with it. You guys are. Good luck. Good fucking luck. Because
in your latest Game of Thrones reading, Daenerys has her visions. All of the jewels, opal, tourmaline, etc., are listed as the dynasties in the Empire of the Dawn. Is the order the same? That's the thing I would ask about. And whether or not like George went back and was like, I'm finding the same. All right, let me see what I got here. So here we go. The dominion over mankind then passed to his eldest son, who was known as the Pearl Emperor and ruled for 1,000 years. The Jade Emperor, the Tourmaline Emperor, the Onyx Emperor, the Topaz Emperor, the Opal Emperor followed in turn, each reigning for centuries. Yeah, no, this is just a not even very close coincidence. Like, so the eyes. So what we're talking about here is a line at the end of Game of Thrones where Dany sees the eyes of her ancestors, and it's a little peculiar because she's not just seeing eyes of things that are purple, but she's seeing eyes that are, opal and all sorts of other things that we normally don't think of as being purple. Not that there can't be a purple opal, there can. But I think she says here, they had hair of silver and hair of gold and hair of platinum white. Their eyes were opal and amethyst, tourmaline and jade. So yes, in this quote, he's got jade, he's got tourmaline, he's got opal, but there's no amethyst, and there's a inclusion of onyx and topaz and pearl. So it's just like, oh wait, I guess later there is amethyst empress. Opal was succeeded by amethyst. Like
George planned it all.
But I know, but it's just that these are the same stones that he uses over and over and over again in the story.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a lapis lazuli emperor. He uses the same stones. He's got his like list of 10. The fact that he's like mentioning like onyx and pearl and things like that. I wouldn't think very much of it.
I'm critiquing this comment. This comment says the dynasties and the Great Emperor of the Dong, written by George R. R. Martin. I think that is. I would put an asterisk right by that. I'd be like, it is unclear if George R. R. Martin wrote that shit.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say like, I'd like to say that Elio insists, and he gets very angry. He got angry at me for implying that a lot of the information was not directly from George. Okay. Elio said, look, some of the language is mine, but like the information is from George. I didn't come up with any of this.
You misunderstood that. He did. I know what you're talking about. So what happened was I was on call with Elio, and Preston's like messaging me, like, ask him this. He wasn't really angry with you.
Yeah.
He was angry with the idea that people keep throwing that at him, not you specifically.
Right, but I think that no, but I mean he's right that I helped claim that the Essos chapter was a lot of him, based on the fact that he said there was like a couple things that they invented for lice or something, and mm-hmm. I extrapolated that they were inventing a whole bunch of stuff, and he told me no, that's not the case, and I was like, okay, I'm sorry for
no, I'm about to put the second part out right now because I finally got the audio fixed. Yeah, I had to do a little movement around on that part because you're not in the recording, but I'm talking to you and then relaying your information to him.
Yeah, and
he misunderstood. Yada. So yeah, I just want to make it clear he wasn't annoyed with you. Or you didn't.
No, but I'm frustrated that I feel bad that I helped create something that did annoy him. So anyway, I want to make sure everything's clear. That
I'll stop making that claim then. That's
yeah.
George wrote that World of Ice and Fire. I'm sorry,
well, at least that it was his ideas. He didn't write the language, but
a lot of it was his ideas, and according to Elio, he just took, the ideas, put pen to paper because George was busy doing other things, I guess.
Because like George gave him like a lot of notes,
Yeah.
And so he can you guys give us a shout out for all the London celebrating Arsenal winning the Premier League? Love your content, lads. Thank you. Shout out to Arsenal. Though I do, there's a hilarious IT crowd thing about trying to pretend you're into football. I don't know have you guys ever watched the IT crowd?
No, I don't think so.
It's so great. There's this one where he goes, this one guy, he's this IT guy, he's super nerdy. But then this one guy comes in and he starts like wanting to talk about football. So he puts on a completely different accent. He's like Varys, just losing the accent. He's like, and the thing is, he just goes, thing about Arsenal is they always try to walk it in, and then they go, and it's just like, and he could just say that always, like the thing about Arsenal is they always try to walk it in, which means like, they're being lazy in late in the game. Right. And so he just, but he could say that about every game. Like, the thing about Arsenal is they always try to walk it in, so I don't know much about Arsenal football myself, no, or the Premier League or anything like that. How's your Premier League knowledge, Carmine? If there's one person,
well, first off, I'm forced to fucking listen to this bullshit because remember, my pastor, who I game with all the time, he's an Arsenal fan, and he is in London right now with his wife celebrating the fucking thing, and he's telling me about it. And of course, someone in my server is a Chelsea fan, so they fucking go back and forth. And the World Cup is going to be gonna be coming to the fucking States next month, and people are like, bro, Brazil, it's over. Like, your best guy, he's not gonna be in it. I'm like, oh god. So, oh, by the way, your favorite player, the French guy, Umtiti, he's coming. He's coming back, and I think his brother Umbooty is also. I don't know if that's true.
Oh, nice.
But are you gonna watch the World Cup, Preston? You're gonna. Trey?
When's it premiere?
The World Cup, it's coming here, right? It's coming to the US.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
But not my city, right?
I'll watch it with my dad, I guess, like on the TV. He likes that stuff.
mean, if I'd be definitely watching a bunch of games if I didn't have children, but it'd be at the bar. But it's such a fun fucking time. But I'm very busy in July. July.
And let me make this very clear, because we put out that Game of Thrones play thing when I was basically doing the calculations and how it's ridiculously expensive. Trey, are you going to the play? Or are you going to go watch it?
No, I'm not going to the play.
You don't want to spend $2,000 to go to
I watched that video. I'm like, that is crazy. And like, you're right, Carmine, where we have no idea if it's even going to be good, Not
only that, though, but my whole shtick was that, because, dude, you should see the fucking comments. One guy was like, but if it was in New York, would you be saying the same thing? Yes. I've been telling the Europeans and the South Americans and the Central Americans, wherever the fuck else, do not come to the United States. Not only are you going to be price gouged, but you might be deported to some fucking random ass African country because an ICE agent wants to make extra bucks on the side. Yeah. Do fucking come out here. Why would you? Trump is out here insulting every single like country out there. Why would you give the United States your dollar? Like, don't. Stay home. Enjoy your time at home in air conditioning and watch it from there. Fuck it. Or if you really want to travel, go to Mexico. Go to Canada. Do not come here. Do not get price gouged, because they will price gouge.
Right.
Don't
not to mention the fact that like FIFA is the most evil organization on the planet, and you might as well like try to have them earn as little money as possible. But try to minimize their profits. But like
Carmine,
America,
you're making.
Yeah.
Even if the play was playing in New York, I don't think I would go. Like, I would need another reason. Like, I would need another reason, like good tale or something I'm gonna hang out with some, I need some other reason.
Okay. What if it were in Atlanta?
If it was in Atlanta, yeah, I'd have to. It's I'd be like, yeah. I take the train.
Like lowering the bar. What if it's in Atlanta? Fine.
What if it was in your backyard? What was it? Your local community high school, community college?
You just gotta.
And maybe I didn't make this clear because someone was saying that, and it's probably my fault. But I think
you're in your bed on a tablet. You just have to walk downstairs, and it's there when you go.
I think you both agree with me when I say I'm kind of getting sick and tired of like spending all this money on Ice and Fire related content when the author can barely, show the same love and support that I show the series. Like we can't even get a fucking blog post. Come on. And to the Gen Zs, we're going to clip this out of context, being frustrated with George. I'm sorry?
Are they singing? Like, what? I don't even know what it is. Is it a musical? Is it just like a straight play like Shakespeare?
It's just a straight play.
It's just straight play.
Oh.
It's like,
okay,
dude, we've been covering this stuff for 10 years.
I think it's going to be like Cursed Child. I think it's going to be like...
Yeah, we love the series. We always support the series, whether it's on HBO or a new book or whatever. But I honestly am getting tired of that. And for the Gen Zs who are going to clip this out of context, my frustration with George does not mean I want him to die and give it to Sanderson. I just am kind of getting sick of giving this series my money and support when the author can barely do the same. Am I wrong?
You're talking to some Thousand Worlds fans right here, Carmine.
I'm just saying.
Avalon 2026.
Avalon 2026 is coming. It's coming.
So that's just where I stand on it. Again, Europeans, don't give the United States your money right now.
Okay.
At least
no, I agree.
Right
no, look.
Do not do it.
America deserves everything that it's fucking getting right now. Okay,
I would go that far, but whatever.
We were dumb enough to as the American people were dumb enough to elect Trump again, That's just like we have to suffer for such an idiotic fucking move. And so here we are, And so like, should Europeans come to America for tourism? No,
Absolutely
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're in the American tourism industry and this is your livelihood, but
yeah. Well, again, I don't want someone to cut. There was a report a while back where 2 German women came to the United States to just, see the sights. ICE picked them up and they're like, look, just deport us to Japan. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's just deport us here. Why? They're not doing anything. They got tourist visas. They went through the process, but a couple of ICE agents want to make some money on the side. So there it is. Don't come. Do not come. I'm channeling my inner Kamala Harris here. Do not come. Do not come here.
See, that's all. You're almost part of the problem because it's like this poor woman that would have been a perfectly fine, wonderful president, and you're like, you can't resist like trashing her because that's the zeitgeist. Like, there's literally a guy who
that's not me. Whoa! That's not me trashing her. She said that. She said to like the migrants, "Do not come." I'm just quoting her.
A lot of things you can quote from her. But you want to take like any random shit that Trump says is worse. Trump says literally like 75 worse things every single day.
Sure.
like honestly.
Like, I'm agreeing with you.
Right? But that's the weird thing is like I still see shit like trashing the Democrats and trashing Biden and trashing Kamala. And it's just like, holy shit, this is why we're in this fucking situation. Is that like? Well,
let's be real here. Why would Biden make these gas prices go up? Like, why would he do this?
Just this desire to like just trash the Democrats and let the fascists rule. Like, it's just fucking the thing, man.
They're complaining now because Trump is going after Hassan. I'm like, okay, cool. You guys don't. I find it funny because remember when Hassan refuses to endorse Kamala Harris and was totally joking about voting Jill Stein? Oh, now it's biting you in the ass. Now it's not funny.
It's true. It's true. It's these people can't. I mean, and it's the nature of the internet. They want clicks and all this shit. Democrats in disarray is a fucking great story. It's just Preston on who George killed and regrets. Could it be Oberyn? I lean more towards Aemon. Removes Marwyn from the OT and mostly agree with you on Kevin, but Oberyn's schemes via kids is so strange. I mean, I agree with you that I do think killing Oberyn was a mistake. In a writing sense, like George, when he wrote Oberyn, had lightning in a bottle. He had a fucking great ass character, and then he killed him off. And he's attempting to have a whole cast of awesome characters to replace Oberyn, and none of them are as good as Oberyn. And I would say that in totality, none of them are as good as Oberyn. Right? Like, I can add up all the coolness of Darkstar and Arianne and Tyene Sand and Lady Nym and Obara and Doran and I can and Damon Sand. Like, I can go down the list, and Archibald Ironwood, and like I can go down the list of all the fucking Dornish and put them all together, and they're not as cool as Oberyn. Like, it's just, Oberyn was an incredibly compelling character, and George has tried to recreate the coolness of Oberyn, and he can't. And so I do think that it was a mistake. However, I don't think that's necessarily what George was talking about when he said, like, I made a mistake, because I think he's talking about like how to move the story forward and what's giving him writer's block and stuff like that. So yeah, I think, Aemon would have been a cool character. I mean, I think Aemon has a lot of utility if you kept him alive, information that he would have, things he could tell Dany. And I think Kevin, just in a point of view sense, is very useful. And not only in a point of view sense, but like when you remove Kevin, the events in King's Landing no longer make sense because they're not going, like, they shouldn't. execute. I've been dealing with the fanfic. Like, you can't. No one would want to put Cersei on trial without a Lannister in King's Landing to oversee that. It would just be too bold of a move on the Tyrells. So, this is why I was like, asking Jenna Lannister to come to King's Landing would be, in my opinion, the most logical thing to happen, because they need somebody there. If the Tyrells, some people are like, why would they do that? Why would the Tyrells give up power? Because if they don't, it would be fucking war. Like, oh, you've assassinated Kevin, and now you're going to put Cersei on trial and kill her, and then essentially kidnap the king. Why would House Lannister like take that? You need to have a Lannister in King's Landing, and so Kevin dying, I think, is a problem, because now once you need another Lannister to come to replace Kevin, none of the timelines work out, and maybe George doesn't care about the timelines. I mean, he could go back to Game of Thrones and not care about the timelines, but nothing makes sense. But this is why I think it's Kevin. But I don't disagree that like Aemon is a really cool character. Too bad he got killed off. And Oberyn, I think it was a mistake, but that's a mistake. It's a mistake from 2001. It's a long time ago. If Arya can't be no one, wouldn't finding out she's married to Ramsay trigger her to go home?
Would it? Would she care?
I don't know if she'd care of all the things.
Like, revenge, I think, would be the only motivation for her to go home, right?
Yeah, revenge, or finding out that Jon is in trouble or something.
Yeah, her love of Jon, her sibling, her platonic sibling love for Jon.
That's right. Her retconned platonic love. Oh God. It's okay if they're cousins. It's okay.
That is crazy that George did that. Thank God. That's like the best near miss that we had from George R. R. Martin right there. That's crazy.
I know, but yeah.
Man.
They can have a fight pissing on up the wall, Arryn in Lannisport Dungeon. That would be really fun. Like, we're talking, this is their because Arryn was captured. I wonder if like, and so he's at Casterly Rock.
Yeah, where was he held? Like,
he was held. I think he'd be held in the Rock, but it's funny that he was actually living in the same place as Tyrion. That Tyrion could have just walked downstairs to the cells and seen him.
Yeah, he was brought to Lannisport in chains, spent the rest of the rebellion as a prisoner of the Lannisters. Like, it is very realistic for him to have met little Tyrion, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Could have gone down and had a conversation. Yeah. Bloodraven is three-eyed crow in dance. In the glossary. Yeah, so the glossary, the appendix is, keep in mind that the appendix is based on what the public thinks. And so by saying that Bloodraven is the three-eyed crow in the appendix doesn't mean that the Bloodraven is the three-eyed crow. What it means is that the public, meaning like Mira and Bran, maybe the children of the forest, believe that Bloodraven is the three-eyed crow. That, because keep in mind, the appendix says that Jon Snow is Ned's bastard. So you have to like remember like what the appendix means, that the appendix is what the public is aware of, which is an odd thing, because is the public really aware of Bloodraven? But no, but like anything that the public is, it's Bran and Mira. So yeah, in that sense, it's like, yeah. And actually, somebody already said that Jon is Ned's son. Stop reading my diary. If Sam watches Gilly die in the East, kills himself out of grief, blends with Tyrion in the last candle, Avalon 2024. Well, not that far. I'm not going that far.
That's crazy.
Gilly needs to Gilly needs, the whole reason I
needs to
brought
talk to
Gilly,
Jorah. Like,
is to tell Jorah that his dad died, and that he
and I want George to just go. George just goes, "What?"
But yeah, no, there's going to be a lot of fun with Marine. Complicated fun, but
the return of Resnick, baby. He's coming back.
I haven't decided if I want Resnick to be with Quentin or if I want Resnick to be with Tyrion. I think it makes more sense for him to be with Quentin, that he would be evacuating the city.
He in his like little chapter thing, he talked about how he was like willing to go east or west with Dany. Like he was concerned that he was going to be killed, so he wants to leave with her.
So Resnick is part of Quentin's group.
Another character like Lord Lefford that's like actually like competent, like a competent character that nobody listens to.
Nobody listens to. Gotta love the Resnack Mo Resnack. In DS9, who was fucking more, Garrick and Bashir or Bashir and O'Brien? Okay, so it is 100% confirmed that, like, talking to the actors, that they were playing, like, they definitely knew that Garrick was gay. Like the actors said that, like, it's never said on screen, but everybody understood that Garrick was gay, and that he was purposely playing the sexual tension with Bashir. Like, that was just like a straight up real thing that the actors were doing. That happened. Bashir and O'Brien, that's not the case, and that's accidental. like I understand they tried to do this Bashir O'Brien friendship thing, which I never really bought. I just didn't think Bashir would be friends with O'Brien, frankly. They just like Bashir and Garrick, that makes sense to me, because Bashir's a fucking genius. O'Brien just seems boring, Like, I could buy O'Brien Nog being friends. That seems like a fine friendship. I could even buy O'Brien being friends with Quark, But, like, why Bashir and O'Brien be friends? I don't know. They just don't. I don't know. But the Garrick Bashir sexual tension thing, that was real. That was a real thing that the actors talked about. Like, oh yeah, we want to make this like super sexual. Yeah. Rhaela was at the latest 15 at Summerhall. So when did Bonifer crown the Queen of Love and Beauty? When she was 13? Because that's around the same.
This is fucking Bonifer He's a creep.
Okay. First, I just gotta check. Maybe is it possible that he did all this shit after Summerhall?
Yeah. Well, no. I think he stops after she gets married, right? As soon as she's married, he's like, he gives it up because he lost the love of his life.
Oh God.
I like it when we like find something that George like very clear. Like George does this where like he just throws something in the murky past, not really thinking about when it's set.
Right, because that's the thing is like he loves his world building, but it's so much easier to just create shit like on the fly than to be like, wait a minute, and have the world make sense and play around with it.
Like I think of Robert's like battles, like the battles that Robert has where he like defeats 3 armies in a day or something like that. You're like, when is this happening?
Okay. So according to Selmy, Bonifer once wore the princess's favor in a tourney in which he defeated all the challengers to name Rhaela the Queen of Love and Beauty. Their love was ultimately a brief thing. Bonifer was too far low birth. And then when Rhaela married Aerys, the knight found solace in religion.
Okay. So it has to be pre-Summerhall in that case.
Yes.
So Bonifer Hastings was hitting on an underage.
Well, the question is could Hasty be
young too? Could he also
right? But to believe that a 13-year-old is gonna win a tourney is ridiculous, right? So he would have to be like Knight of Flowers, at least like 17 or something.
Yeah.
So maybe you could argue that he was. I mean, I'm not saying it's great, but you could argue that he's like 17, while Rhaenyra is.
Her age is pretty bad. Like she's pretty dang young. Like I guess people flirt with Sansa. Like I guess Loras like flirts with Sansa.
Yeah,
right?
hands
like,
are the thing.
So I guess are we counting any tourney? Because Daemon Blackfire, I'm pretty sure he won a tourney at the age of 12, but it was a Squire's tourney. So I don't know if that really counts.
But it says, yeah, she was in love with a young landed knight. But when did she, what was the year that she got married? It had to be before Summerhall. That's all. It had to be before Summerhall. Right? Because we don't know actual date of marriage, but Summerhall is in the year 259. And, oh God. You're right that even being the most generous that you can, she's 14. She's 14 at fucking Summerhall, which means she is 13 getting married if she gets pregnant immediately. Yeah.
Okay. I guess there's precedent in the story where Sansa is 11 and Loras is like handing her the rose and stuff, and he's
but Loras 16, isn't actually 16? In love with her. Yeah, but
right.
Yeah. So, but nonetheless, like Bonifer Hasty is crushing on an 11, 12-year-old, or it says that it somehow was. I mean, I'm not sure they acted on it, but there was some sort of mutual love. Their affair was a short one, whatever that means. Great. Okay. So it's like...
Thanks, George. Thanks, George.
Thanks, George, with your 17, 12-year-old, 13... Great. Oh. And that's being the most. That's funny. It's like the most generous we can be is that she was married at 13. But
I like this. This is the question that we're going to tell George if we ever interview him. George, what's the deal with Bonifer Hasty and Rhaenyra? How old were they?
People were married real young back then.
You want me to ask Elio? You want me to throw that in the pile? Just ask Elio, just to throw it in there.
Okay, an idea to bring Zola to Harrenhal from Old Town. Arnell brings him north alongside with recruits and criminals, like Yoren did with Rorgan Biter. Oh, this is so Arnell is the missing. Arnell is the other missing traveling acolyte guy.
Oh, the Night's Watch guy.
Right. So Arnell is sent by Lord Commander Mormont as an ambassador to Renly, and then he proceeds to fucking disappear from the story. And the reason is that Arnell is sent is because he's a Green Apple Fossaway, and he was kin to the Green Apple Fossaways. And so he just dropped from the story. And so we need Arnell to come back. But maybe you're right. Like maybe Zolo at some point is arrested and he's given to the Watch, and Arnell has him, and he's like bringing him north. It's a good idea. I think I may, because I don't have a good reason. I don't even know where I should put Zolo. I mean, to make it easy, you could throw Zolo in the same group as
the Old Town
First
boys.
With the Faithful, right, in Old Town or something. But they kind of speak like of Zolo like he's somewhere else. But I don't think
Somebody somebody need to rein George in here. We do not need to be dealing with all these these guys.
No, every member of the Brave Companions must be accounted for.
It must be died.
They must be accounted for. Yeah. Well, maybe, yeah. Okay, Zolo. I mean, I have an idea with Urswick. I was thinking of that. So in the Sam story, they're kind of establishing that they need escorts to take, like, sellswords and escorts to, like, take them north, and that they would hire the brave companions to be their escorts, to be their sellswords. And so I wanted the Sam story to end with the brave companions escorting Sam and company and the other guys.
Good cliffhanger.
Yeah, to Horn Hill or whatever, and that be the end of the story, and that they would run into Damp Hair, and yeah,
that rocks.
Right, so Damp Hair is going to be at Starfall, and then he's going to be heading to Heron. He needs to go to Heron Hall, and then he's going to run into, on their travels, Sam, because we just got to get the fucking plot lines collapse. Like, I don't necessarily need everybody to be killed off, but we need our plot lines to collapse so that you're dealing with fewer plot
eliminate
lines.
The POVs.
You know, like I haven't decided if Barristan's dead or alive, but he's collapsed within the Victorian storyline, and he's going to remain there, so that the two are going to be together.
I am just so excited to have Victorian Barristan conversation. Like, I want at least one, because that is just the funniest combo to have. Like,
right, like two guys that would just be like, "Oh God, what do you say to each other? You're like, you are insane." Like, the faith of the seven is the real. The mother is the only real gods are the seven.
I do like that, like Sam meeting Arryn. Like, what are they even going to talk about? Like, yeah,
right.
That's why the genius of the Jon Stannis stuff is so good. Like, it's just like, wow, like,
right. And so much disappointment with North of the Wall episode, where you're like, oh, you've got this cool situation where all these characters that are so different are now hanging out. You got the Hound and Gendry, and what do they talk about? They talk about liking dick. And like, they don't really talk about anything.
Like I'm just thinking about like Thoros, like Beric and the Hound's conversation in the books, and like it's one of the best things in like the entire Storm of Swords. You know, like the roasting, just like like you think you have like the Hound is like an awesome character just to fucking roast people. Like that's like he's great at it. He's great at it, and you just like have him like barely do anything. Like he calls Gendry gay, isn't that's like all he does, right?
Yeah, he says you're wincing, like, or something. He uses some word like that. Whinging.
Yeah, what a missed opportunity.
You know, it's like, I was sexually assaulted. You're whinging. Sorry. Okay, that's a very good idea. And then we're I gotta get to bed soon. But thank you, Stock and Lord. And hopefully, soccer is so boring. Preston doesn't drink beer. I drink gluten-free beer. I do drink beer.
Gluten-free? What the?
Yeah, motherfucker. Gluten-free, dairy-free, man. That's Preston Jacobs.
In story, how long has this Arnell character been missing? Like 2 years?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that idea that he's just like, I'm still getting recruits.
John 1, Clash of Kings. He says
it's early Clash of Kings too.
Damn. His father stands high in King Renly's council, and I have half a dozen half a notion to dispatch him. No, best not. Renly is not like to heed a quaking fat boy. I'll send Sir Arnell. He's a deal steadier, and his mother was one of the Green Apple Fossaways. If it please, my lord, what would you have of King Renly? Like, so, yeah. Sends him off to... The thing is, like, by the time you'd get... Like, talking it out.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, by the time Arnell gets down there, Renly's gone. So he, like, shows up to Highgarden, and they're like, dude, he went to Bitterbridge. Ah, fuck. And he goes to Bitterbridge, and they're like, he went to Storm's End. And then he's like, fuck. And then he's like, he's dead. So... Fuck. No, like I've been.
Yeah, he's like, what do I do now? Like, fuck it.
And did he go by ship? How did Arnell get there? That's a long trip.
It is a long trip,
right? Because like he either takes a ship all the way around to go up the Mander, or he takes a ship down to I don't know. Salt pans, starts crossing it's ports.
He's got a fascinating story, that Arnell.
Like if you're Arnell,
like what do you do?
Yeah. Try to see like what would be the most logical place to. Man, it sucks to go to. It absolutely sucks to go to Highgarden, man. From like, what? So say he takes a ship. Do you like dock in King's Landing? And then take the
like a riverboat,
or do you like come over, you know, dock at like Griffin's Roost and cross that way, or do you just take a ship the whole way, all the way around up the Mander? Like that would take it's such a fucking long ship ride. I guess King's Landing. I guess King's Landing and the King's Road would be the best, but like, plus he's already sending. He already sent Sir Alistair, right? Or is Alistair already gone?
Alistair's already gone, I think, by the time he sends him. Alistair's already going to King's Landing with the Hand. Or do they share? No, yeah, I think Alistair's already gone in Game of Thrones.
That's so, like...
Because you're right. Mormont should have just put them on the same ship. Like, Mormont should have been like...
Mormont! But at least, like, that gives us some time. Like, a time, like, you can kind of figure out when he's gonna... Yeah, you're right. He sends him in the end of a Game of Thrones. But that means you can kind of figure out when he should arrive. Arnell should arrive. Because you just be like, okay, if Alistair Thorne is arriving in this chapter in Clash, that means Arnell would have arrived like a few chapters later. And then you got it. Man, it's just so funny. Has he already sent it? There it is. I've commanded him to take ship to King's Landing and lay it before the boy king. That's in John 8. And then, yeah, he's gone by John 1. He says in John 1, Sir Alistair should reach King's Landing by the turn of the moon. So he's well and gone. Should have put him on the same ship.
Should have waited more. Just wait.
Well, thank you. Oh God, anyway, I'm sorry about these last super chats. I need to head to bed. It's way too late. Yeah. Summer dies. Mira helps keep Bran climb out of the pit, but he needs Ghost to warg him into after the pit. I'm the hardest thing I'm dealing with is how is Bran and Mara like going to get back to the wall without food? That's the big thing. I'm just like, oh my god, like there's no game in the forest. Like they were talking about.
Let me hype this up. Preston told me a little bit about the Bran chapter he was cooking up. Amazing. This is gonna be my next favorite.
Well, we'll see if I can put together. And then could Zolo join the Company and capture the Isle of Tarth? Golden Company shouldn't take Zolo. That would force Brienne to go back the way home. The problem is that, so Zolo I've got the problem with is that both Jaime and Brienne need their comeuppance with Zolo. Like the Brienne one is more important because she's already dealt with Shagwell and Rourke, but Zolo took Jaime's hand, so like both characters kind of want their comeuppance on him, so both characters should meet him. I feel like just get everybody's collapsing to Harrenhal. That's the idea. It's just reason for everybody to go to Harrenhal is the deal. But yeah. I don't know if, I guess Bran could probably warg into Ghost if he wanted. That's completely within Bran's ability. I mean, Vermeer Sixskins can do it. Can go into other people's. That'll be interesting because he would find Jon in there. Find Jon inside. Interesting. Very interesting, actually, to think about that. Anyway, oh my God, we've been on here 3.5 hours.
Sorry.
Thank you, Trey. Thank you, Carmine, for being with me. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.